Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Wherever you're at, it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. Lotto Max. Get your tickets at playalberta.ca. And for a gentleman who I think is getting married later this week, it's the Leon Draisaitl Lotto Max. $29 million. So he doesn't need it, but you do. He's got a pretty good contract kicking in next year. 14 mil. Actually got a signing bonus earlier this month that basically covered the whole season. So good for him. Gave himself a little pre-birthday present. We got lots to discuss on the program today. The Jays. Break up the Jays, baby. They got record-breaking, of course, their 11th consecutive home victory. They are now up to they got the most home wins in MLB so far this season. They've just been dominant. 36-16 for the Jays, which is pretty impressive for them thus far. 59 wins. Only the Detroit Tigers have more. They are 60-41. The Jays are 59-41. Although in the NL, the Brewers, well, now they won, so they got 60 wins. So they're up 60-40, and the Cubbies are 59-41 as of the Dodgers, 59-42. So the Jays, they're legit. They're right up there with one of the best teams in the major leagues. Last night, Kevin Gausman comes in. The guy throws lots of fastballs. The Yankees are the best fastball hitting team. And he's like, I don't care. I'm bringing the heat. And he did. And mixed it in with some cutters. But, man, that was an entertaining game. And they go back at it tonight. The Jays win tonight. You win the series. And it's a best of three. But then there's another chance for a sweep. The Jays already have 8 series sweeps this year, most in MLB. So we'll touch on that. Dane Mizutani will join us. We will continue our NFL preview. We'll stop in Minnesota. Many of you Viking fans, we get a lot of Viking fans texting into the show today. If there's anything you want to know about, be sure to text us 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM will be by. We got Struddy, Mark Spector, also the head coach of your Edmonton Oilers, Chris Knobloch, will be joining us in the 3 o'clock hour. We'll get an update on his coaching hires, of course. I filled out his coaching staff, just a few other things. Probably talk about his what's his favorite ride. Of course, he was out at Monday Morning Magic the other day with young kids. Just a spectacular event that goes on, and it's great for Chris, who of course has got his place here in Edmonton now, resides year round, so that's good. Let's talk to him about the summer, and also the fact that one of you, well, you and your friends, could be going for dinner with Chris Knobloch. We're auctioning off a dinner at Vivo Ristorante, everything included. You'll be going for dinner. Now, it's going to happen in September, just FYI, or I guess in August if you want to go, but in September, most likely, before the season begins. And you'll be having dining, the 4 of you with Chris Knobloch, and Spec will be your waiter, essentially. All right. So if you want to go, it's helping out Sports Central. You can text in 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Dave must have been listening yesterday because Dave opens up the bid and he's in at 700 and we're off and running. So there you go. I like it. Get in early, get in quick if you want to have dinner with the head coach. He's only coached 2 years in the NHL. He's been to the Stanley Cup final both years. He should have a few stories. And they won't all be heartbreaking. Everybody knows what happened at the end, but obviously the road to get there, pretty interesting for Chris Knobloch. So we'll have the coach joining us in hour number 2. Also on the show, we have a little theme. I like to look up today was there one obscure stat that caught your attention the most in the NHL last season? Could be regular season, could be playoffs. I got a few, and we'll get to them. Some might surprise you. Others, maybe not. But we'll get to that. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 is where you can text in your thoughts on that. Did you know that Now I got to go back and look, but since the NHL was tracking, there is one stat. I just got to double check it during the commercial break to ensure that I get it right. But it's another one that I think piques your interest. We talked about it yesterday on the show. The fact that last year was the lowest power play opportunities per game across the league in league history since they've tracked the stat since the late 1970s. Fewest power plays per game across the league. It's wild. And there are some numbers when you look at some of the top guys and you see the decline in the power plays that they draw, right? Penalties, I should say, that they draw. So you look at in 2022, Nathan MacKinnon drew 1.71 penalties per 60. McDavid was at 1.7. So very close. So from 2022, it's just been a steady decline. McDavid's went 1.7 to 1.47, now down to 0.93. McKinnon, 1.71. Actually, McDavid, sorry, I missed one. I missed the 1.52 in there. McKinnon's went 1.71 to 1.25 to 1.03 to 0.83. Now, those are the two fastest players in the NHL. 4 years ago, 1.7 each of them. This past season, 0.83, 0.93. That's like half for McKinnon. His went in half. It's ridiculous. McDavid in 2022 drew 50 penalties. In 2025, he drew 22. Now, he missed some games, so that's why I like to go with the per 60, because in the minutes played, still, he went from 1.7 down to 0.93. Pretty significant drop. The two fastest guys in the NHL. Now, there are certain guys that, now, natural stat trick isn't that's the best, because when it uses penalties drawn, it also includes, if you get coincidental minors, it counts those. Right, so I get roughing, you get roughing. Well, that's a penalty drawn. That's not a power play to me. So I'm looking for actual power plays. McKinnon and McDavid don't get a ton of coincidentals, so theirs are much more accurate. And that's a significant drop in a 4-year span. Same players, same star players. Your two fastest guys. Does anybody think there's anybody else faster than McKinnon or McDavid in the league? I don't think so. So that to me is a concerning trend in the NHL. Because do not tell me that suddenly all the players across the league are like, hey, I can defend McDavid and McDavid and McKinnon 50% better than I used to, 45% better than I used to. I'm not buying it. I am not buying it. So there we go. Hey, Greg's, I'm a Sports Central board member and appreciate your support for an amazing cause. I've also met Chris, super nice guy, so this prize is going to be fantastic. That one comes in from Mike, and Mike, Dave is up to 800 now, the dinner. This is a fantastic deal. It's a bargain, actually, right now. Now, we just started, but 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You and 3 of your buddies will dine with Chris Knombloch and Spec down at Vivo Ristorante. All the money going towards Sports Central. If you want in, it's very simple. Just text in 833-401-1440. Some other news. And we still got some texts yesterday that I didn't get to that about the Scotty Scheffler comparisons. Gregor, do you honestly think Scotty Scheffler is as good as Tiger Woods? No, I don't think anybody said he's as good as Tiger Woods. But when you listen to players on tour, and they talk about the level of play that Scotty Scheffler is at right now. And this has been for 2 years. He's won 11 tournaments last year and this year combined. 7 of them he's won by 4 strokes or more, which is a pretty dominant victory in professional golf. Like, that means you're that much better than everybody else in the field. Pretty solid. And it's where this past weekend, he got the lead on Saturday or on Friday. And it's kind of like, good night, Irene. Like, there's certain times, I know it was Xander Schauffele said, I didn't think we would have someone dominate as much as Tiger did this soon. His words. That's a guy on tour where you're a player. Because what's unique about golf is, like we were just talking about penalties and in other sports, you can game plan a way to say, okay, you know what? We can counter Nathan McKinnon. We can counter Steph Curry. We can pressure Tom Brady. Like you can do things to disrupt the greats in their sports. You can't do it in golf. Like you can't chirp him in his backswing. Right? Like I guess if you're partnered up with him, you could try to stare him down, maybe walk down the fairway. Scotty, you suck. Like really, I'm joking, of course. Like you can't do much. You just got to play well, but you really can't get him off his game. So when a guy's rolling and he's 150 yards in and he just throws another dart, what do you do? Right? Then you mix in his putting, and he was the best putter at the Open Championship. Hit 59, I think it was 59 of 63 putts within 10 feet. Some a ridiculous number like that. And you're over the 4 rounds. And you're just like, what? Like, A, he's putting that many shots close, and then he's draining them all. Hard to do. I think it was 94.7% from putts 10 feet and in. And sometimes an 8-footer can be a knee knocker. You've experienced it. You've done it. So we'll see. But I just think Scheffler right now is dominating the game of golf on the men's side. It's not really close. And I think it's fun to watch. It's good to have, because you've got lots of other good players, right? But he's clearly the number one. And like in tennis was great when you had Nadal. Like I'm using individual sports because teams are a little bit different. But when you had Nadal and then you had Djokovic, right? You had Federer. And those three, like for almost 2 decades, dominated tennis. Yeah, Andy Murray throw in there, sure. You get a guy every now and then that would come out of the woodwork and, they'd be good. There was lots of other competitive guys, but they dominated. And so when you had Tiger, you had Phil, but he really wasn't, like he was good, just he wasn't as good. So is there a golfer that you think could make it a competition to say, okay, we got Scheffler and I got 2 guys and I'm not sure who it is that can really push him every week? Like Cons, do you have one?
Not one that I believe in consistently, like you said. Like Rory McIlroy, when he's on his game, he can be pretty good. But we talked about it on Friday after round 2. Like, did we have any confidence that anyone was going to track down Scotty Scheffler? No. And in all this game with the laugh, like he's just, when he's on his game, I think the distance is just so far between he and anyone else. Like Xander Schauffele can be good as well, but no, I don't think anyone, when Scotty Scheffler's playing his game, no one's going to touch him.
So this is courtesy of the PGA Tour. When you go to a ShotLink and they do their point system. So average points so far, and that's through July 20th, right? It'll obviously start again when they have the next tournament. And this includes all of the PGA Tour events. Scotty Scheffler, his average points, is 20.25. The next closest is Rory at 11.5, then Schauffele at 7.2, Justin Thomas 6.1, and Russell at 6. Their total points, Scheffler's at 830, Rory's at 531, Xander's at 291, Thomas 265, Henley's at 240. That's your top 5. So your number 3 is 291. Your number 1 is 830. Your number 2 is 531. Like, it's not close, Cons. Right? Like, it's not close at all. So I'm going back to the 2000 season and looking for Tiger Woods. He was at 1,300 at the end of the year. Next closest, Ernie Els, 617. Right? Then you had Phil at 531, Lee Westwood at 529. Like, no one close. No one close. And the rate, what we're seeing right now, the way Scotty's playing, it's, Rory's number 2, but Ernie Els is number 2. And I could do a few other seasons, if I wanted, because Woods, he had a few good years in there. It wasn't just a one-off, right? Like in 2001, He was at 673. Phil was at 430. Now, Tiger, I think he missed a few tournaments that year, if my memory's correct. Could be wrong, but then he was at 660. Phil was at 378. Not really close again. And that's kind of where you're at in golf with Scheffler. So Rory's older. I don't really think there is one, Cons. I'm with you. I don't think there is one.
If you look to live, like Joaquin Niemann has won 4 events over there. Obviously, Bryson DeChambeau, we know when he's on, can be very good. He's only won 1 event this year. Do you think anyone there could contend?
Well, I definitely not DeChambeau. I'm sorry. Like Dustin Johnson a few years ago, maybe, but Dustin Johnson now, I don't know. Niemann is now he won twice on the PGA, I think, before he went to live. Right? So that does impact it a little bit, right? Remember though, Cameron Smith was on the PGA and everyone's like, oh my God, Cam Smith, he's got the sick mullet. Oh, he's going to be great. And since going to live, what's he done? Right? He hasn't really done much. Right? He had the great 2022, but since he signed his big deal and left, not sure what he's done. I think John Rahm might be the one guy I would pick. I think John might be the best guy. So make no mistake about it to me. But when you put them together and they get to the majors, they're not really making a real big push, none of them. Right? So it is unfortunate that it's split up now. And so maybe that plays a role, but they're not split up on the majors. And we're not seeing any of those guys really push them. So it's a good question, but I'm not sure I see it. So
yeah, Neiman would be cool if he was PGA full-time because he is just 26, right? He's still young and maybe could be that guy to push. I don't believe he has a major yet. Oh, sorry, won a PGA championship this year. Yeah, duh. So yeah, I think he would be the one, but then again, like you said, 2 different tours, so we're seeing them rarely go head to head. It's too bad.
Yeah, no, it is. It's unfortunate. There's no question about it. But I don't know if that, if you just look at Scheffler's average scores and everything, again, those other guys might be there, and maybe his margin of victory in a few of them wouldn't be as much. That's probably totally valid. But I don't think Scheffler's game, because they're all there. It definitely doesn't change his majors because they're all there. So I look at his other tournaments. He's just dominant right now. It's not really close at all. So quick break. We'll return. We will talk more hockey, some golf, a little bit of football as head coach Mark Killam will not announce his starter. But let's be honest here. It's got to be Trey Ford, doesn't it? You're not. So Trey Ford was trending up and he had one bad game. No question about it. Last week was before the bye week was a dud. No question. To suddenly just strip him of that from one game, I think that would be an overreaction, especially when you haven't done it to anybody on your defensive side of the ball and they've been pretty much terrible all year long. So I think it's Trey Ford starts, but if Trey Ford misses and passes early on, yeah, then I think you can go to Cody Fajardo, no problem. But to me, it's Trey Ford. I think on Thursday we'll see Trey Ford as the starter. We'll return with Dave McCarthy on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
When you look at a pipe, you just see a pipe. But at GS Construction, we know it's not just a pipe. It's the future water flowing to a growing family's home, or the sewer line for a new school. At GS Construction, we know every trench we dig connects people to what matters. And if you'd like to be part of that vision of making a better future, we're hiring. Right now, GS Construction is looking for experienced foremen to join our team. So apply today at gsconstruction.ca. GS Construction, underground with purpose. You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk. Noodle, 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 noodle.
Noodle, 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 noodle.
Throw the load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
You have a choice, and it's a hard one. GMC employee pricing or 0% financing at Wolf GMC Buick. A hard choice, but also super awesome. Get GMC employee pricing on our Sierra lineup, from the Sierra half-ton to the heavy duties. If you have cash, get discounts over $12,000 on many of our Sierras, along with GMC pricing. Or choose 0% financing on our Sierra half-ton lineup. And what a great selection of GMC terrains and fabulous Buick SUVs to pick from. So many choices. But one thing's for sure, you are getting the best deal at Wolf GMC Buick.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Whoop, there it is. 4 days of basketball at its best. Hoop City 2025, North America's largest FIBA 3x3 showcase. The top 4 Olympic teams on both men's and women's categories, featuring Canada's women's Olympic team, with Edmonton's own Michelle and Catherine Blue. More than just hoops. There's entertainment, long-distance shootout, Grand Slam showcase, plus interactive games and prizes for everyone. Hoop City 3x3 Basketball Festival, July 31st to August 3rd. Ice Palace and West Edmonton Mall. Admission is free, so bring the whole family.
As members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel your life affordably, reliably, and safely. Across the province, natural gas keeps Albertans warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. For more information on the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and its members, or to learn more about how natural gas fuels your community, please visit us at fedgas.com. That's fedgas.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Jump on OTR's party shuttle buses to Elks games, Riverhawks games, and concerts at Commonwealth. To see all upcoming bus events, visit ontherocksyeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
225. Also a sad day for all of you metalheads, as Ozzy Osbourne, a week after he signed off, said, you know what? Had a great run, but Ozzy Osbourne transitioning to the next world earlier today. So for all of you metalheads and many people, man, Ozzy was he was a legend for a long, long time. And God, did he ever have some banger tunes, man. Woo! Absolute bangers. So we'll probably run through a few of those on the show today. Let's go around the NHL now, brought to you by McDonald's. You can cool down with $2 sundaes, snack size shakes, and also download the McDonald's app, and you can get $1 cones all summer, but only through the app. It's a great deal. Only at McDonald's. As Dave A. McCarthy from SiriusXM. Joins us, Dave. How you doing?
I'm good, Jason. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, you know what? There's lots happening, man. In your city, it's Jays Mania right now.
Can't lose. 11 in a row at home. Beat the Yankees all the time. I mean, I don't know. I think the Jays might be a good baseball team, Jason.
They are pretty. Now, do you go to games often in Toronto?
You know what? I have not been to a Jays game yet this year. But if they continue this, I might have to try to find my way down there. Maybe it's that I'm a little older. Now I'm not old, but older. My desire to go downtown at any time when I do not have to work seems to diminish by the week, by the month, by the year. And so it is one ordeal or another these days to get downtown. And then when you are downtown, there always seems to be some other nonsense that's going on. And so it just, it loses the appeal, but might find my way down to a Jays game because they're playing pretty good. And I'd like actually to check out the park since they redid it.
Yeah. Well, I know they've lowered the attendance quite a bit. It's down to like what 42,000 or something like that. But it's rocking right now, and obviously I'm sure they just they didn't lose any money. They just upped the prices everywhere else probably, and
dramatically. Like it's
seats. Although
it's outrageous what they've jacked the prices to in some locations, like from like $16,000 to like $40,000 for the equivalent seats, these same seats. I mean,
jeez,
I know. So
like
you can
playoff game.
Yeah. I mean, at least they go to the final, right, every year. So we'll see. You can raise the price to whatever you want to make up for the loss in revenue for the reduction of the capacity. But if people aren't buying the seats, then I don't know. We'll see. A good thing they have a winning ball team right now. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Let's a few things in the NHL. I was just doing some off-season number crunching and looking at scheduling and travel and different things around the league, and I stumbled across the fact that the power plays, the lowest power play opportunity per game in NHL history this past season, and from 2 years ago. We're down almost 1,000 power play opportunities. It was actually 957 in less than they had in 2023 and 880 less than what they had in 2024. I did hear a lot more people that should be a penalty. It's not called. The NHL has done this before, Dave, and I sense that we're getting to a trend again where we're not going to call penalties. Our stars have to fight through everything.
Yeah, I think the numbers back that up. And I agree with you that there were times this year where you would look at plays and say, how is that not a penalty? And it did get the feel that more was let go this year than we had become accustomed to in past years. So it's interesting to hear numbers back that up. What I would find interesting, and I would have to look it up because I don't know it off the top of my head, where is scoring at in general this year? Is it up in general or is it down? Because
down over the last 4 years, it's the lowest it's been.
Okay, so yeah, there you go. I think there's a correlation there to the reduction of power plays because obviously a lot of goals happen on the man advantage. It's interesting because you talk to people at the league level, and the general consensus is that the game is in very good shape right now. They like how the game looks, how it translates on television, how it translates in the arena. There is a level of comfort and satisfaction with where the game is at in that regard. I think the league would point to the Stanley Cup playoffs and say, are you not compelled by that? Did you not find that exciting? And I think to an extent, yeah, you'd have to agree. The playoffs are probably better than the NBA's playoffs these days. I think if you're just a sports fan, from a pure excitement standpoint, the NHL can compete with anybody right now. But once you get within the game, are they leaving something on the table by as you point out, having calls that should be penalties let go, and could the product be even better? I think that's the balancing act that the league is trying to find. Don't have it so that it is a game called power play, but also make sure that penalties that absolutely should be penalties get called, and then it's incumbent on the players to make that adjustment to not commit the infractions once they know where the standard is.
Well, to me, the rule book's there. They just don't enforce it. That's the problem. If you actually look through the history of the NHL and power play opportunities since they tracked it, which goes back to 1978 or 77, 78. This past season, like, it's the lowest ever of any year since they've tracked it. We're talking, over almost 50 years. And this was the lowest. And the game's faster than ever, but the players are more disciplined. I don't buy it for a second. The NHL, I watch way too many games where I'm like, that's an obvious penalty, and they don't call it. Mind blowing to me.
Yeah, no, I get it. I really do. You could make the converse argument that the bottom of the roster today is better than the bottom of the rosters in 1979. Guys that played down the lineup in those days, at times looked like they were skating with rubber boots on. Nowadays, everybody can skate well, but in saying that, the pace of the game has increased to the point where, are players more likely to commit fouls? It's hard to say, but I do agree that there were issues at times, I thought, this year that penalties that should have been obvious penalties were let go. I might be in the minority here, Jason. You and I might differ on this, and I think we do. I don't want to see the game become a game of power play. And I know you're going to say, well, then the players need to adjust. You're not wrong. But how quickly can they adjust? And
but has there ever been a time where the game has been about power plays? Where you're like, oh my God, they're like, even in 2006, when they had
argue then, yeah.
Right. But they were just saying, we're going to eliminate obstruction. And I talked to the players, and by the end of the year, the players like, okay, I know what I'm not doing. But the rules are right there. And I'm not at, like, it's not like it's saying, oh, we need 8 power plays total. Like, it was 5.41 per game in the NHL. That's combined for both teams.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not even 3 power plays again. That's not even 1 power play per period per team, which isn't a crazy number, right? It's not a crazy number at all. There's more power plays in the playoffs per game than there were in the regular season, right?
That's interesting. Yeah.
So I just, to me, I believe that most infractions are called on the guys who have the puck. Right? Like, there's not a lot. It's not like football where you can have holding downfield and it's not the guy. In the NHL, the vast majority, sometimes maybe you cross-check a guy in front of the net and he doesn't have the puck. But usually the penalty is impacting somebody who had the puck or is just it has the puck. That's how it is. And who has the puck the most in the NHL? The better players. So basically, it's like our better players now are having to fight through more, and the other leagues don't do it. I was looking at the NFL's number of flags. The NBA decided they thought it was too chop happy, which is fine. People said, hey, let's just play a little bit of a physical brand. And I'd have no problem if the NHL was allowing body contact.
Mm-hmm.
But they do allow hits from behind. And I don't care what anybody says. Hey, hit from behind. That should be a penalty all day, every day, 1,000 times a day.
Yes.
I don't need to watch a guy hook a guy in the neutral zone and have no penalty. That's not an exciting play to me. I'd rather just see the penalty called. And if the players adapt to it and then they got to skate faster, then it speeds up the game and there's no penalty. I'm all for it. But right now they've lowered their standard again. And I think it's a problem.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be interesting to see how it evolves next year. I think a lot of the decisions that the league makes are as a result of conversations with the managers. And when you hear a desire amongst the managers to evolve in one direction or another, you will get a standard to go down that road. When there isn't, there's reluctance on the part of the league to alter the standard, or in this case, perhaps, not reluctance to lower the standard, but a desire to lower the standard of what is a penalty based on what they're hearing from the member teams. Like I don't like ticky-tack calls. Like quite honestly, when a guy is hard on a stick in a puck battle, not coming over the top with like a tomahawk slash, but hard on the stick when you go into the corner and the guy's stick breaks in half just because it's not a piece of lumber anymore, but whatever the hell they make sticks out of, and it's weak and it breaks because the guy is strong, and you call a slashing penalty. I don't like those penalties. I would be all in favor of them getting away from those calls, but then upping the standard for examples that you point out, like in the neutral zone, where a guy chips it past the defenseman at the blue line, has a step on the guy, and the defenseman reaches around with a shepherd's hook, and maybe doesn't even haul the guy down, but knocks him off stride a little bit, so either he or the guy coming behind him can catch him in pursuit. I want a penalty there all day long, because what you're taking away quite likely is an exciting play, a breakaway or a 2-on-1 in that case. So by all means, I like that there. But the ticky-tack calls where guys are being strong in the corners and a stick breaks and suddenly like that, to me, is also not it's more exciting to see guys battle and to see who can win the puck. So it's a tough one, because I think there should be varying standards for multiple calls within the rule book, if that makes sense, if you see what I'm saying. But in fast break, in transition, when there are infractions committed that prevent what is likely to be an exciting play and an advantage or an earned advantage, yeah, I think there should be penalties there. I don't think those should be let go.
Looking at the summer here, and most rosters are now complete. There's still a few guys left over that haven't been signed. Like, I don't know if Jack Roslovich is going to move the needle as much as some think. I know they thought that he was automatically going to be tied in to the Dakota Joshua trade, but lo and behold, that doesn't look like it's the case just yet. Vancouver didn't just make the trade to free up the money for that. Maybe they made it for a different reason. But is there one team, Dave, now that you've had some time sitting out in nature, looking at the this offseason, do you think any team has actually really improved themselves?
I've gone over this for the last 2 or 3 weeks here, really, since the dust settled after July 1st. And I still can't come up with a team that has improved itself to the extent where it's put itself in the Stanley Cup conversation. There's a lot of teams that I think will be better this year. I think Columbus has the ability to continue to get better and push for a playoff spot. You look at Dmitry Voronkov, Adam Fantilli, Kent Johnson, and Kirill Marchenko. Those are 4 young core forwards. All 4 of them set career highs in goals and assists last year. They should only continue to get better. They brought in some veterans like Charlie Coyle, Miles Wood to supplement their lineup. They've got guys like Luca Del Beluge, maybe the best name in hockey, who came up, played good minutes for them when they needed him last year, and was dominant in the American Hockey League. He should push. Denton Matejchuk on the back end, second in points among rookie defensemen, yet he only played the 10th most minutes among rookie defensemen, but he still played 18 minutes a night in over half the season. He's a guy that'll likely get better. There's a lot of good there with Columbus, but they're not a cup contender. You could make a similar argument for the Anaheim Ducks, not a cup contender. I think if you're a Florida Panthers fan right now, you got to be foaming at the mouth with the position that your team finds itself in, because I really do think the list is Florida number 1, and then like way down here, 2 starts. And I think it would have to be the Golden Knights at this point. But I'm still not thrilled with them as a team. Yeah, they got Mitch Marner, who should help them produce offensively during the regular season, and at times that was an issue for them. I don't know what he's going to do in the playoffs, because I never saw it happen here in Toronto. And Alex Pietrangelo is now no longer part of the program there. It's a huge hole to fill in the back end. They haven't filled it yet. So you look at teams that either lost two teams where in the first round it was a couple of cup contenders like Dallas, Colorado, or teams that went deep. Who's really gotten better? Has Colorado? I don't think so. Has Dallas? I don't think so. Has Winnipeg? I don't think so. Has Toronto? I don't think so. Has Tampa Bay? I don't think so. Has Edmonton? I don't think so. So who's going to knock off Florida right now? And a lot of stuff can happen. Injuries, a lot of mileage on their chassis. Can get a little older. Who knows? We'll see. But at this point, I don't see how you can point to another team and be really excited about them having a chance to dethrone Florida at this point.
Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM joins us. Dave, with all the new rules that are coming in for the new CBA, there will be a playoff salary cap, no more double retention. Was there anything you would have liked to have seen them add to the CBA that they didn't?
Honestly, nothing really comes to mind. I think the biggest thing was the playoff salary cap, just so that I don't have to hear people whine about it on Twitter anymore. That'd be great. So I think that to me was the most obvious thing. And I know it's something that you and I had talked about for many years. It's a pretty simple fix. I remember for so many years, how are they going to come up? And you came up with it. And that's pretty much what they did. You can have your roster be whatever, but the guys that you dress that night have to be cap compliant. So you can't hoard $10 million players and then pull 3 out of nowhere on game 1 of the playoffs. I think that's really smart, and it will go to mitigate a perceived level of unfairness. And I think anytime you can work your sport to where it has the highest perception of fairness is a good thing. And especially when it works against contravening what the spirit of the rule in the first place is to not have an advantage for teams with inflated revenue, where they can afford to do that. Only certain teams could do that routine with the salary cap because they're willing to spend the money. You never saw smaller market teams where they were really gate dependent really go down that road all that because they can't afford it. It's not an option. So the spirit of the salary cap, and there will be many people that that dispute the need for a salary cap in general. I am not one of them. I do think it brings a more even playing field. But the spirit of that rule is to provide a level playing field, and then teams found ways to work around it. So now we've got away from that. I think that's a good thing. I guess the only thing that I would point to is, and this would again require another complex solution, but a way to balance out the tax standpoint in various marketplaces where there are teams that have more advantageous circumstances when it comes to their tax brackets, their tax codes, than other teams. That would be really difficult. I don't know how they would find an answer for that, especially if a guy gets traded from Tampa Bay to Toronto mid-season, and what that would do to his cap hit when you have to factor in all the permutations of the change in the tax code that the guy is now playing under. I don't know how you figure that out, but I just wonder if that's something that down the road they can continue to look at and attack and try and find a way to balance that out. Because I think that's where we're heading now, Jason. Now that we fixed the playoff salary cap, the next common argument, as we've already seen a lot this year, is, wow, Florida, Tampa Bay, Dallas, Nashville, Vegas, it's not fair. They've got an advantage where other teams don't.
Yeah, I'm not sure I buy that much into. I look at the fact that teams have added $9.5 million players at the playoffs 3 times, and they all won. So I think that is the biggest advantage that led to it more than anything else. And now that won't be gone. This will be the last year. This could be the year, Dave, if you're ever going to load it up in LTI. This is the year to do it. So I'm sure. And trust me, any team that some team be like, geez, maybe we'll get an injury at the Olympic break. And boom, that's going to free it. Because, hey, the Panthers, at least I appreciate their honesty because they didn't hide behind the fact, hey, you wouldn't be here, Seth, if I didn't get hurt. And it's pretty much true in the case of Tkachuk. So it helped him, and away we go. Davey, enjoy the summer. Get out to a Jays game, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay. See you, buddy.
There you go. That's Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM. Quick break. We'll come back on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
It's the Bricks Price Meltdown. Score hot summer savings like up to 40% off mattresses and a 10% instant credit towards sleep accessories. Save up to $900 off sofas and sectionals, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages. Plus, buy more, save more on select major kitchen appliances, up to $500 off. Even more, find hot prices on Canadian-made pieces and get up to 15% off patio furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
248. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. As we get to our NFL report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home to no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long. LegacyHeating.ca. Dane Mizutani joins us from the Pioneer Press, beat reporter for the Minnesota Vikings. Joins us now. Dane, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Jason. How are you?
I am excellent. We are getting closer, of course, to NFL preseason and what everything is gonna look like. I guess let's start at the obvious one, and JJ McCarthy. And what are you expecting from the youngster this year?
I'm expecting some pretty big things from him. I know the team is also expecting some pretty big things from him. You just look at what the Vikings have done this offseason, spending more than $300 million collectively to improve their roster, building out the trenches, adding more playmakers. Sure doesn't sound like a team that's just hoping to go 500 and sneak into the playoffs, even though J.J. McCarthy is stepping into the role of number one quarterback for the first time in his career. I do think that they still have expectations of competing at the highest level possible. So when you look at what the Vikings have done this offseason, how they've set J.J. McCarthy up for success, and then you look at kind of the work that he's put in, I think back to the spring. The kid's arm looks live. You don't see a lot of rust from that knee injury that cost him his rookie season. So I'm excited to see what he looks like this summer, but all signs point to him, jumping off and having a pretty good career right from the jump.
Well, he's got the advantage of having some pretty elite playmakers, right? Justin Jefferson maybe the best receiver in the game. Jordan Addison's a hell of a player. TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones can still run the ball. They got Jordan Mason as well. Like, he's got that. What do you make of their offensive line? Because at the end of the day, that's going to be a key. How do the Vikes O-line, how does it look? How does it shape up compared to maybe other O-lines around the league?
Yeah, well, they totally overhauled the interior of it after kind of getting their doors blown off in the playoff loss to the Los Angeles Rams. Kevin O'Connell came out and said the interior of the offensive line needs to be better. The two guard positions, the center, they need to be better. The Vikings have two of the best tackles in the league. Christian Darrisaw, who will be coming back from a torn ACL, but it sounds like he'll be ready to kind of start working back into practice right away here in training camp. They have Christian Darrisaw and they have Brian O'Neill bookending the offensive line. Two pillar tackles. You couldn't want anything better from a left tackle and a right tackle. But the interior of the offensive line has been a problem for much of the past decade. So what did the Vikings do? They went out. They drafted Donovan Jackson in the first round out of Ohio State. They signed Ryan Kelly in free agency to play center, and they signed his running mate, Will Fries, to play right guard. So in 1, 2, 3, bang, 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 they've totally revamped that interior of the offensive line. I think with the idea that we have a young quarterback back there, let's give him time to do his thing. So you mentioned the playmakers. I think J.J. McCarthy will have time now to sit back in that pocket and deliver the ball all over the field. So that was a goal of the Vikings heading into the offseason. And on paper, at least, I think they've accomplished that goal.
Yeah, and what do you make of, I guess, what about Hawkinson? Like, how the tight end one for fantasy is always a big question. When you got Jefferson and you got Addison and you got Jones, like, what's a realistic expectation for him production-wise from Hawkinson?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, if we're just talking strictly in fantasy football purposes, there might be too many mouths to feed on that offense to justify, picking him super high over some of these other tight ends that are out there. But you want to just talk about football production.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a pretty big season out of him. I think people it got lost last year. And look, fantasy football is a big reason for that when the production's not there. But you almost forget that TJ Hawkinson was coming off a torn ACL last season, didn't really start playing until November, and wasn't fully comfortable until December. So you kind of compare that to this season where he's had a full off season. He's ready to roll. And as we know, a tight end can be a security blanket for a young quarterback. So I think he's going to see an uptick in his production, certainly compared to last year. Does it justify a high pick in your fantasy drafts? Probably not, but I think the Vikings aren't really thinking about your fantasy drafts when they look at TJ Hawkinson.
No, not at all. Dane Mizutani joins us here on Sports 1440. Dane, offense, they got a lot of positions. You mentioned the offensive line. They revamped it. What about the defensive side of the ball for them? What's going to be their strength, at least on paper? What looks to be their strength?
Yeah, it'll probably be their pass rush. I mean, you look at the people they added last year, Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel. Those two guys came in and were instantly among the best in the entire NFL at the positions they played. So Jonathan Grenard coming off the edge, Andrew Van Ginkel coming off the other edge. I think you return both of those guys another year in the Brian Flores system. That's probably going to be your strength. And you have Dallas Turner, another young edge rusher working in. That's going to be, I think, what the Vikings hang their hat on their ability to get after the quarterback, their ability to create pressure. But I think kind of similar to how they shored up the interior of their offensive line, they did the same thing with the interior of their defensive line, adding Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, two guys who have proven it throughout their career. They're capable of generating pressure up the middle. I think when you have such elite pass rushers off the edge and then you add two guys like that up the middle, it's going to make this defense incredibly hard to play against. I think I just saw a ranking. Some people have them as the best front seven in the NFL as far as defense goes. So I like that group. The question mark would be, is the secondary going to be able to hold up? It is a lot of unproven parts, especially at the cornerback position. So that'll be, if they had a weakness going into this season, that's probably the weakness of the defense. Certainly a lot of time for that group, though, to prove themselves worthy heading into the season.
What about their division? Obviously, hey, Detroit's very good, but they've already Yeah, man, Detroit, I don't know if there's a top team that loses more key guys to injuries than Detroit does. They season hasn't even started. They already lost another key guy. How close are they?
Yeah, I think toughest division in football, no doubt about it, at least in my opinion. I think that the nod still has to go to the Detroit Lions, but I think the Vikings are right there. I think the Vikings are right there, as are the Packers, as are the Bears. And I think it is a tough division, and there will be no easy games. I think when you think back to the Vikings in the past, you could look at maybe the Bears and say, well, they're going to win 2 games there. You could look way back a couple of decades ago and say, well, the Lions, they're going to win 2 games there. You can't pencil in victories at any point of the NFC North schedule, and I think that's what makes it the hardest division in football. That being said, I think the Vikings from top to bottom are as good of a roster that exists in the NFL. The biggest question mark is J.J. McCarthy to kind of close the loop there. If he performs at a high level, I think they could win the division. But that's a lot to ask of a first-year quarterback.
Oh, yeah. No, that is fair. And that's the thing. When you go back to a first-year quarterback, and unfortunately got injured last year. And I don't know, and during that injury, how much was he able to learn? Because, we've seen Aaron Rodgers and other guys not play very much early in their career, and that's helped them later on rather than get force-fed reps. Did the injury help him at all in learning the game?
Yeah, I think glass half full. Yeah, it did. I think it gave him a chance to step back. It gave him a chance to learn from afar in a way that he wouldn't have gotten to learn from afar had he been there in the heat of battle every day. I think it allowed J.J. McCarthy to really just sit there and absorb the game rather than being wrapped up in the should he be starting over Sam Darnold conversations that inevitably would have existed last year. So am I ever going to say it was a good thing that your 21-year-old quarterback tore his meniscus and had to miss the first year of his career? No, but there were some silver linings that I think the Vikings did a really good job taking advantage of. He was able to not only learn the position by watching film, they used a lot of virtual reality stuff so he could actually feel like he was in the helmet. I think it gave him some, confidence with just knowing the playbook, the ins and outs of everything. He was a part of all the meetings. So they made sure it wasn't a lost year. But then again, he didn't get any reps on the actual field. So it will still be a lot of new things for him this year. But kind of going back to what I said at the beginning, I'm expecting big things from him this year because of the talent around him, his mental makeup, and just everything that kind of surrounds him playing the position for the Vikings.
So what's outside of him, what's the most intriguing storyline about the Vikings heading into training camp?
I think cornerback to me is the one weakness on this team. So to me, that's an intriguing storyline. They just paid Byron Murphy Jr. a ton of money. He's going to be the leader of that room. But outside of him, it's a bunch of unproven guys playing a really, really important position on defense. If you have one cornerback that cannot defend, that can cost you games. That can cost you months of wins in the NFL. So I'm curious to see who rises, to the occasion in training camp. And it's certainly a position battle that will take precedence this month and in the next couple of weeks or a few weeks to come. If there is not enough depth there, if they feel the talent's not there, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go out and go shopping on the open market. But they're going to let the string play out, and I'm interested to see how it looks internally before we look externally.
Sam Darnold was 5th in the NFL in passing yards last year. He was 5th in passing touchdowns with 35. He had 4,300. Those are pretty lofty shoes to fill. How close do you think McCarthy comes to either one of those numbers?
If he comes to close to either one of those numbers, you're going to have a hype train that's pretty uncontainable here in Minnesota. It's a lot to ask him to put up big numbers like that in year one. I think what you should really be focused on is just kind of his command of the offense, how he handles it. If that turns into 3,500 yards or 4,000 yards, 35 passing touchdowns, great. But I think the Vikings would trade some of the counting stats for obviously wins, but just level of comfort in the offense. I think if we're judging J.J. McCarthy off of do his stats look like Sam Darnold's did last year, you're setting yourself up to kind of be disappointed because I don't think is fully appreciated or will be fully appreciated for what Sam Darnold truly did. I'm glad he got his bag and got paid, because a lot of people were kind of trying to rush through last season so they could see the shiny new toy that's JJ McCarthy. But man, Sam Darnold had a heck of a year.
Oh yeah,
it's hard to replicate that level of success. So I won't put that pressure on JJ, but I do think he'll put up some good numbers this year.
Awesome stuff, Dane. We really appreciate it, man. Have a great day.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks, guys.
There you go. That's Dane Mizutani joining us. So Vike fans, I think people like the Vikings were 14-3 last year. Like they had a phenomenal year. Sam Darnold, unreal. Like you look at the passing yard, and hey, they got two pretty good receivers, right? Two really good receivers in Minnesota. Justin Jefferson, what was he, second in the league in passing yards, receiving yards, excuse me, last season. So I like them. I like the running game. Cons, what do you like about the Vikes? They obviously improved their interior of their O-line and their D-line. Like 14-3 is obviously going to be hard to match, but well, where do you see them? Like obvious playoff team, 12-win team? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're an obvious playoff team. I think JJ McCarthy, I mean, he can manage a game at the very least. We saw him do that in Michigan, where they were a run-heavy football team, but he's got those weapons. I think it is important to note that Jordan Addison likely is going to be suspended. He had the off-season reckless driving, so he's going to probably...
What does he get, 3 games?
I've heard minimum 3. So it's
Okay.
probably not the biggest deal. They had some depth at receiver, but I love their offseason, like knowing how close they are and then going out there, getting Ryan Kelly to help at the center position, and then kind of giving a big payday to Jonathan Allen to get him over from the Commanders. I enjoyed Javon Hargrave as well, former first-round pick. So I like what they did this offseason. They know that it's going to be tough to get out of that division with the Packers and the Detroit Lions. So they had to go out there and do it. They've done it. And yeah, I would say pretty much a lock to make the playoffs unless things go horribly wrong.
All right. A lock from Connor Halley. We'll come back. We'll update you on our package today. We're auctioning off to help out Sports Central. A little slow start in the first hour, but that's all right. It's all how you finish. Doesn't matter how you start, as long as how you finish. We'll get to that and more after a Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. This summer, elevate your game with 01 Hockeyology. Weekly themes, real ice drills, personalized plans to push every player further. You can register. You get a monthly fee of only $300. That gets you 18 on ice sessions, off ice. You want to train off ice. You want to do on ice skills, shooting, everything. They got it at 01.ca, ZERONE.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Another busy day in the majors. Jays taking on the Yankees, looking to make it 2 straight. First pitch set for 5:07. You also have the Reds in Washington. The Red Sox taking on the Phillies. Padres up against the Marlins. Braves host the Giants. Athletics in Texas take on the Rangers. The Mariners will host the Brewers and the Twins in Los Angeles. The Edmonton Riverhawks in action tonight, taking on Wenatchee. That one gets going at 7:35 Mountain Time. In the WNBA, we've got the Sparks in Washington. Liberty hosts the Fever. Chicago in Minnesota. Aces hosting Atlanta. And the Wings meet the Storm in Seattle. Tight end Jimmy Graham indicated today that he plans to officially retire from the NFL this year with the Saints. Graham, a 5-time Pro Bowl selection, last played in 2023 after signing with the Saints after sitting out the 2022 season. And Super Bowl champion and 3-time All-Pro safety Tyrann Mathieu has announced his retirement from the NFL at the age of 33. He spent the last 3 years with his hometown New Orleans Saints after spending time with the Cards, Texans, and Chiefs. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host, former NHLer Terry Ryan, and the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, Chris Knobloch. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience, but it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-471-7380 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Reports suggest the Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
My mouth can't handle another dull drink. Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Tee off to win with Cattail Crossing's $10,000 hole-in-one challenge, powered by Sports 1440, Canada's first ever Aqua Range event. Just walk up, grab some golf balls, and start swinging. Or book a VIP bay today. Win $10,000 with a hole-in-one, plus great secondary hole and leaderboard prizes. Closest to the pin and monthly winners will battle for a $50,000 grand prize. The hole-in-one challenge, open Thursday to Sunday, noon till 8 through August. Weather permitting, cattailcrossing.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Breaking news, McDonald's international menu items are vanishing. McPizza Bites missing in Italy. Big Rusty stolen from Germany. Teriyaki chicken sandwich disappears in Japan. And a Biscoff McFlurry blackout in Belgium. Oh, this just in. We can now confirm the stolen favorites have resurfaced at McDonald's Canada. The international menu heist. Try them all while you can. For a limited time in participating McDonald's in Canada.
5 detours that led to hidden gems.
10 pit stops that became annual tradition.
20 games of I Spy that lasted from departure to destination.
Measure your RAV4's comfort and memories, not just mileage. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2025 RAV4 LE all-wheel drive from $97 weekly for 60 months at 6.69% with $3,999 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Get this, Metal Supermarkets now offers welding services for their customers. Simple welds, steel, stainless, and aluminum welding. TIG, MIG, and stick are all available. And I tell you, these welding helmets are really something. Like the jousters wore in the days of yore. Quick, fetch my lance.
Lance is on lunch break.
That's not what... Never mind. Metal Supermarkets, your local convenience stores for... and welding. Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Good afternoon, Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game, your one-stop shop. Casino, lottery, instants, live dealer, sports, they got it all, including Lotto Max, $29 million tonight. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. As we welcome to the program, was a first-round draft pick in 1995 right here in Edmonton. Was inducted into the Newfoundland Hall of Fame. Stars in Shoresy as Hitch. Terry Ryan joins us. TR, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm banished to my Jeep sitting in my driveway. My daughter's got some friends over. We got pizza coming. It's a big night planned ahead, so I'm doing it from the Jeep today.
Now you have your daughter is 15, correct? So what, you got like 5, 6, 15-year-olds? I'm guessing it's a pretty high-powered voices in your house right now.
Yes, and when I travel so much, and I just went to Chris Nyland's golf tournament in Montreal, which was pretty wild, and then into PEI for a 3-day Novus Boys and Girls Club event. It was awesome. Some NHL legends there, and I just got back. So I've been gone for a week. I leave again in a week. So I guess I'm easily swayed when it comes to Penny Lane. She doesn't ask for too much, but when I come back, I guess I try to be accommodating. I don't like being gone so much, but that's it. That's life, and Daddy got to work.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Now, of course, I know you're a big Jays fan. You've been to the Jays games, but how is there like a lot of Jays fans in Newfoundland?
Yeah, there's lots. I go to tons of games. Yeah, so if you're from Newfoundland, I can't really speak the same for PEI because you got that bridge now, and everything's connected. So you could, if you lived in Fredericton, it's 9 hours to Montreal, 8 and change. You could make that journey. We have to fly in no matter where we want to see a game, and I'm talking any professional, anything.
Yeah.
Right now that usually ends up being, the Habs or the Leafs because it's close, maybe the Bruins, but dealing with the border or whatever. So it's just easy enough. So those are usually, but that would be first. Some Raptors, whatever, anything over in the Eastern North America. But when it comes to the Jays, they give specific getaways. So you can fly in, fly back, $4.99 return, and then you get tickets to the game. You can stay in the hotel. There's always packages geared towards Atlantic Canadians, specifically Newfoundland, a lot of the time. And I mean, outside of that, even if you just fly in, you can get a Jays ticket for $20, man, and go sit. That's all I do anyway. I was behind the plate a month ago. I couldn't have a nicer seat, but we ended up going up for a little bit in the restaurant because it's such a great vibe, and there's music playing, and there's usually people you might know, and there's great food, great just an awesome vibe, and no matter where you are, you can see an awesome view of the field. So for me, it's a $20 ticket, and it usually comes that every other sport, it just seems to be the prices are going up through the roof. Now for the Jays, for the extreme, for the awesome seats, and I credit my friends last week. I didn't buy those; those were friends, and that had a hookup. And they're great seats, and I understand that they went up in price because there's so many improvements done. I'm just saying there's thousands of seats available for $20.
Right.
And with those, you can sit in the restaurant and enjoy the game.
Well, I'm actually going to Toronto next month, and that's got to be my first Jays game, and I can't even remember when to see it live. My son's a huge baseball fan, so we're going to go there. We're going to go to Niagara Falls and have some fun. And so I talked to your buddy Ken Reed, and he did tell me about, you get in the bleacher seats. It's just general admission. It's $20, and you try to get there early, then you get the better seats in the general admission. And it was my son's first game, so I got his tickets in right in the outfield, just to the right of the visitors' dugout. So I suppose, your kids can lean over there and talk to the guys in the dugout, and then maybe they get a ball or whatever, but it's a huge vantage point, and to be able to just see the field. But I think the second night we might just go, because I'm thinking about, everybody tells me you probably want to go to 2 games because sometimes one might be a dud. So, although this year maybe not, because the Jays are winning every game, so we'll have to see. But I am looking forward, because I can't remember the last time I went to a game in Toronto. It's got to be at least 25 years for me for a Jays game. So,
well, they're great entertainers too. My daughter plays soccer. We've gone to see the Habs. I mean, she knows, she's immersed in soccer, somewhat hockey, and she watches hockey with me, and her friends play, so she's always at the rink. Virtually no tie. I quit playing baseball on an amateur level when she was about 6 or 7. My dad played back in the day, but we don't go to the field. I'll watch the Jays. She just goes, she'll come out, maybe converse while we don't sit there and watch, but she loves going to Jays games. I say that to people, man. They market it really well. You go there, and there's a lot of music playing. There's a mascot, but there's a lot of other attractions, especially now at the outfield. I mean, for those that haven't seen it, it was nice anyway, but it was outdated, and they got 3 like whole different sections built. And,
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of things. There's a DJ in one little part. There's for kids, there's toys, and then there's from sushi to hot dogs to burgers, the subs, and all different kinds of food. Something for everybody, and you can kind of know a little spot. You can go in and learn about the past Jays. There's all kinds of things happening at once, and it's her favorite. And we do use the seats and sit in them. We get the $20 ones, and it's great. Like, she likes being up and looking down. I mean, for someone from Newfoundland, where I think we often get tickets so far in the upper deck, it's a novelty. Like, I don't know if there's any buildings here that high, so we just go and have a great time, and usually end up going to Ripley's, believe it or not, is right there. The aquarium and the CN Towers right there. It's a nice little area that a lot of people who haven't been to Toronto or haven't been to a Jays game, I don't think they realize how like accommodating it is for just about any age. There's bars for the boys if you want to go, or the girls, or whatever. But if you want to take your kid, there's all kinds of things in around there that are interactive, and there's lots to do. And Toronto, for that reason, is one of my favorite places to visit for sports reasons, but for any reason, really.
Any must-have food at the Jays game right now?
Okay, so the last time that I was there, I went up. So you'll know where it is. I forget the restaurant, something. The highest one you can go to.
Okay.
You go to the far left, and in front of you will be some tables and things, and that's where you want to go first. That's where Ken's talking about, because you can get seats that just overlook, and it's a great ticket. But right up behind you to the left, if you're looking at the field, will be some sushi. Now, they have other things as well, but I really enjoy that. And if you're into hot dogs and things, they got the sausages right there, like really, really close. So there's a lot going on, and they serve beer and even the small, medium, and large. So you're kind of set in that corner. But if I was down where you're going to be, for sure, no doubt, I would go for the Mary Brown's, Newfoundland, good Newfoundland company, and now they're in Rogers Center, which is great to see. And it's unreal chicken. Try it out. Try the chicken fillet, the Big Mary.
Mary Brown's is from I didn't even know where it came from. All right, so who knew? We always learn things from TR on food. What about the Jays, though, as a team, TR? Obviously, they've won 11 straight at home, franchise record. They got the most wins now in the American League East. They beat the Yankees 5 in a row now at home after sweeping them in 4, winning last night. How aggressive do you expect their management team to be here in the next 10 days? Well, I guess 9 days leading up to the deadline.
It's funny because when you listen to everybody in the media, the critics, baseball insiders, they're in first place, but there's something I think we're all waiting for, not a collapse, but we all, not that I'm one of them, but they all agree that the Jays need something. And a big bat would be great, and a pitcher. But I mean, that's what everybody's looking at. But they've got deep pockets. That's the thing about Toronto and baseball, with no cap per se, and with even they can go out and do something a lot of other teams can't. And a lot of other players, a lot of other teams, like the Yankees, for example, will be going, but not necessarily for the same players. So I expect a big move, even though it seems that they're in the driver's seat. But just there's something that I would say the same players in the recent past have been peppered with inconsistency. A guy like George Springer, I'm loving that he's doing what he's doing. I don't think anybody would have seen that coming. Addison Berger, what? Where did this guy come from? And on and on. And it's guys like Davis Schneider last night watching the game, took a 15 pitch at bat. He struck out, but it really wore down. It really wore, I forget who started, really wore down the Yankees pitch. And yeah, there you go. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing this team kind of, and maybe it's progression. I remember one of those years that they lost in the playoffs. It was wild card. They got in, and Guerrero got caught sleeping on second. And it's I don't know. It seems to me they're a little tighter. They seem to be, and that happens with growth. So maybe this is what we were waiting. The management was saying, we're going to build from within or restructure, whatever the term was, and people were kind of laughing at that. But it turns out that at least now, I think we're done with any small sample size. We know that at the very least, this is a great a really good baseball team. Do I expect them to make moves? Yes, I really do. And I think they're just going to go for it. It seems they got the management to do it. And now is the time, if there's ever been a time for any Toronto-based sports team to go for it, now's it. This is what we've been waiting for since 2016. Go get them.
We'll have more talking to baseball. Also get some hockey talk next, TR. We also have Chris Knobloch coming up in 20 minutes time. And your chance, Dave has us at a steal right now, $800. Do you want to have dinner with Chris Knobloch at Vivo Ristorante in September? It's dinner for 4, all your food, all the wine. It's an unbelievable place right now. And it's all for Sports Central. We got to get this up here. So let's get it rolling. It's only at $800. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. We'll return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense. You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Some jobs are easy, and some jobs are not. When the going gets tough and the job is tough, GS Construction hires good people to get the job done right. So, if you know it takes teamwork, grit, and the utmost care to work underground, you just might be who we're looking for. Right now, GS Construction is hiring experienced foremen to join our crew. Apply today at gsconstruction.ca. And remember, from the first manhole to the final tie-in, we've got your back. GS Construction. Tough jobs, good people.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Our average used RV sells for around 30 grand. Some are more, some are less. And literally no one has 30 G's just sitting in their checking account.
Monthly payments are the best way to get the used RV that's right for your family.
That's right, Bob. Financing should be a stress-free process. But let me tell you a little secret. My granddaughters think I'm a model citizen. And I was young once. And if you look back into my credit history, you can see that it wasn't always excellent.
Perfect credit is nice, but not easily achievable.
You said it, Bob. But less than perfect credit is not a good reason to keep you from the great outdoors this season. I built our financing plans for the real world. And in the real world, nobody has a perfect credit score. So let's talk about how easy it is to make your favorite used RV affordable. As long as you promise not to tell Saxon and Goldie that I'm not perfect.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in technology, technique, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3:25. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you missed it, of course. Ozzy Osbourne passing away earlier today. His family put out a statement, Sharon and the kids, and he Lived quite the rock star life. No pun intended for Ozzy Osbourne. TR, I know you've been to a lot of concerts. Did you ever see Ozzy?
No, I haven't. You asked me that last week, and I guess that would have been on the list, and it slipped through my fingers. I'm not going to see him. Not that I was going to anyway. He's decades past his prime, but it would have been nice, yeah. And I really do appreciate his stuff. I really my favorite would have been probably with Black Sabbath, but I like a lot of Ozzy stuff too. He's a constant.
Oh God, yeah, being around for obviously an incredibly long time. Had a crazy career. Early in his career, man, he was on stage. He was he did things that obviously no one else had ever done. That's for sure. So unfortunate for him, but quite the life lived for sure. We are going to have Chris Knobloch on the show coming up here in about 15 minutes time, and we filled out his coaching staff. Basically, Mark Stewart's going to take over running the defense, going to continue on with the penalty kill. Chris Knobloch's had no, since he took over, he has the most wins of any NHL coach, regular season and playoffs combined. It's been an unreal start for Knobloch, but you're always looking to improve. Is there one thing that you would like to see him implement to the team this coming season?
Wow, that is a great question. And I thought he managed the bench real well in the playoffs, in particular. A lot of people will say, well, his record is so good because he's got such a great team, but I don't know. I would argue that before he came in, it was in disarray. And it wasn't necessarily a coach problem per se, but it was something that clearly, when he came in, he changed the vibe. He changed I don't know if you want to say culture, that might be a harsh word, but or too strong of a word, but he definitely changed things. He made them his own. And I can't think of anything. If there were times in the playoffs that I thought the Oilers could have been a little bit more aggressive on the power play or on the penalty kill, but I'm just really pulling at strings here. I don't think I could say anything now that is glaring that I think Chris Knobloch should do differently. Those things, I'm sure they exist. You might want to ask one of the players, but as far as I'm seeing it, I didn't think that he got out coached. Put it that way. There might have been times during, but a lot of things that people question him about, whether it was which goalie to play, whether it was ice time for guys that weren't popular with the fans for one reason or another here and there over the last couple of years. I guess Nurse and Bouchard could really, the way he not only spoke about them, but and he showed so much poise. Chris Knobloch almost reminds me of Carey Price as a goalie. And Stuart Skinner has traits of that, but I just mean he just never seemed rattled, even at times, because the Oilers didn't start last year so hot. I don't really think that his job has been on the line yet. I could be wrong. It doesn't seem
that
there's really anything to sway it that way.
Yeah.
No. So he hasn't had to really feel that heat, but he's still there's reasons. There's all kinds of pressure-filled situations that require that level of poise, and I think he showed it. And the thing is, and I've said this, you see teams gel. We just talked about the Blue Jays. We talked about the Oilers. Say what you want, whatever it is, with the cast and the nucleus they got all the way to the Stanley Cup final twice in a row. It's not easy to do. I know you want to see that championship ring, but those players learn something, but so does a coach, especially a coach who comes in so early. And so thrust into it as a fairly young guy when it comes to coaches, with really no experience at that level to speak of. And so he's learning as well, and he's a great coach. So I would remind people that, it's real important that your young players come in to develop, and your players that are in their prime, they really play to their best of they come to fruition, all their talents and all their leadership qualities. But for a coach, really, really important, right? He's stirring the drink. And I think you can see him learning as we go. So I'm kind of excited about what kind of year it could be from that perspective. And no, I can't think of many things. I can think of little instances in games, but nothing that I could say overall, well, they should do this.
Well, they're definitely going to, and he's talked about it before. We'll talk to him about it. They're definitely going to tweak something on their penalty kill, right? He talked about and hey, your personnel changes, right? When you had Desharnais and Ceci and Ekholm, there's certain skill sets that they have just on the penalty kill. I don't care. People can talk till they're blue in the face about puck movement. I'm just talking about the penalty kill. You can't discount that they played a huge role in the success of their penalty kill. And then, Ekholm obviously in the playoffs wasn't there for the majority of it. Desharnais, Ceci were gone. I think we saw that. And Bouchard did fine at times when he came in there, but I think they're looking for a little bit more consistency up front. I don't think their forward group was as effective or as unified. They just didn't. And part of it, and you've killed penalties, TR. Like a lot of it is just comes down to trust sometimes. And you get into kind of that mojo routine where they just player A goes and player B knows exactly where to follow him. And I felt that the Oilers where they gave up too many seam passes and it burnt them on the penalty kill. No question.
Yeah, and here's where a guy like that, Matt Savoy, can step up this year, right? Because, by all accounts, I don't think he killed many penalties in the NHL. I really don't know. But, everything I read about him is that he's a good penalty killer in the minors, right? And when you're in that position, like that's not a bad position. It gives you something to do. You can go out there. And I remember, again, my professional experience, I first went in, people know about when I got up there and played a few games at 19, but for 2 years I was in Fredericton, and at first it took me a while. I ended up with 21 goals in my first year, which I guess was 34 fights. So I really think, looking back, that's what I wanted to do. But early in the year, I'm telling you, I did not have a good start. I didn't know what to do, and I remember Tyrion, instead of putting me with something good he did. And on the power play, I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. I was nervous. I was squeezing my stick, but he put me on the penalty kill and played 10 or 12 games, and I just knew it. I knew I could do that. Just go out and be smart about it and work hard, but work smart. Work with whoever I'm going to be with. Let's talk it out. Let's be ready when we go out there and just stand in front of the shots, man. It's not great, but it's easy to do. And, easy, I guess, physically to do, mentally harder than that. But, And I think something like that is really, and you get a bunch of guys out there that want to achieve a job, and that have someone on the other end, some players. Go down the list of, you get McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge. You can go down all kinds of players that are going to be in the top six that you don't want out there as much in those situations, right? If I know that they're all going to carry the mail when it comes to offense, like this is on me, and I can move my feet, and I'm a young guy, and I can stand in front of the puck. It might not be great. I just think it's easier to jump into something like that and have a major role on the team, because that's really important. But I think it's doable for most players, especially those that come in with a pedigree as big as Savoy. And I'm not only speaking to him, I'm just saying there's ways that can really build momentum for the team. I think it's really, really, really important, and it helps the team gel.
Yeah, 100%. And it was guys need a role, right? Certain guys, you need a role in the course of a season, right? And I think that, we've heard from, we'll talk to Chris about it coming up here in a few minutes, just, which guys he has in different roles and different things like that. I don't know if I've talked to you yet, TR, a lot about the, Ike Howard comes in, he's a flamboyant guy, which I think is a good thing. I have no problem with it. Somebody who likes to have a little bit of fun. Add some youthful excitement to a room. I want to get your thoughts on this because I haven't asked you about it, but I look at the Oilers, and at times, they're a very professional group, but they're kind of like a serious group all the time. And I don't think you need to be serious all the time. It becomes a challenge. And I look at them, and I don't know how you can instill a little bit more of maybe a loose attitude and just a little bit more jovial at times. How do you think you can bring that into a room that's pretty serious?
Oh, man. I'm watching a great documentary now on Netflix. I'm late to the party, and I watched it in real time. I just didn't realize. It's the 2004 Red Sox. There's a guy, Miller.
Yeah.
And he's what they needed, right? And he wasn't. And at times he was basically he wasn't a starter. I think there were times during that they kept him. He came up for trade, but they love what he did in the room. I'm not saying that's like Howard, but I'm just pointing out that I think that kind of a personality I think it goes across, I don't know what to say all sports, but a lot of sports, and that kind of thing is what got them going. I think that can really loosen up a room, and the leaders on the Oilers, they're so intense, and they have to be, and we all saw some of those inside moments in the rooms, and Connor, when he's being real, and that's needed, because that keeps you in line. A guy like Ike Howard, for example, or anybody that's a little bit jovial or gets to, because with me, I couldn't live only like that. I hated it. I had to, and there's ways you don't have to be like the center of attention. You don't have to be slipping on banana peels all the time.
Yeah.
But you can go in and maybe, who sings this tune? And then maybe tell a story about Ozzy Osbourne, or, and then maybe, just ask a silly question that won't piss anybody off at a weird time. There's ways to inject that into a lineup. And I think for someone like that, he's really in a position to succeed, because he'll be, let's just say Ike Howard's that guy. We don't really know yet in the NHL. But yes, it all seems like that. So if he comes in, right, he's not going to go over the top with such great leaders that have been for a guy like, for example, Trevor Zegras, he's like that too, but I think maybe he just got free reign. I don't know if anybody hold him. I don't want to speak to their leadership, but it just seemed like that one got away from us. Hopefully it gets back. Hopefully he finds his game. But it started to be, it's like we saw him either scoring a Michigan, or for some clip on Instagram that was part of a local commercial, or it's just seemed, keeping that, what's there is good. I like some of that, right? It means, hey, you're going out in the NHL. It's a crazy league, man, and you're not nervous and you're confident. That's all good. But you need leaders to really harness that the right way, and I think the Oilers have those kind of guys. And if you're young and you don't know the difference, I think you get given a bit of leash. So I'm sure they'll see where this goes, and hopefully it goes no further than just being a bit of a clown in a room, and I'd applaud that. I actually needed it as a player. I'm not going to say I wanted it. I needed it. I could not be there all day long thinking about, what if I screw up, or what's a contract going to do? It's just too much, and everybody's got it on their mind, man. And you need the workplace to be fun, and I only invite that.
Good stuff, TR. We'll take a break. Chris Knobloch will join us next. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way. Calgary rules.
But when it comes to the best snack for three-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Wilhock Beef Jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make it a part of your game day.
Wilhock Beef Jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
If you're looking for the ultimate off-road adventure, you'll find it in a Jeep Wrangler. And if you're looking for the ultimate financing deal on a Wrangler, you'll find it at St. Albert Dodge. Right now, St. Albert Dodge is offering 0% financing for up to 72 months OAC on their full selection of 2025 Jeep Wranglers. And it's a great selection. Sport, Willys, Sahara, and Rubicon, plus all the new colors, all on the lot ready to go at 0%. Come see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Chat Brab and 118th.
The Hoop City 3x3 Festival takes over the Ice Palace at West Edmonton Mall from July 31st to August 3rd. See professionals and Olympians battle for ranking points and cash prizes in 3 different FIBA 3x3 events. Free admission. Details at sports1440.ca.
Reports suggest that Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
My mouth can't handle
another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the watermelon wave and watermelon explosion smoothies available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Hey everybody, it's Gene Principe, the Prince of Puns, and I've got something that definitely will float your boat. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from LA and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one haul of a trip. Prices start at just $23.99, and part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Call and save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. Cast Tours, 1-833-347-7678.
It's road trip season, and that means loading up on the road trip essentials like snacks, tunes, and Hondas. Sherwood Honda has fuel-efficient, dependable SUVs, hybrids, crossovers, and more to take you up, down, and all around this province and beyond. Travel in comfort and safety, going where you want to go, when you want to go, stopping to see whatever catches your imagination on the way. Summer road trips make memories that sure would last. Start yours off right at Sherwood Honda.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Need the perfect ride? The Golf Cart people have it. They offer a wide selection of new and used models from top brands like Club Car, Yamaha, and E-Z-Go. Whether it's a lifted cart for adventure or a sleek ride for the course, they'll find your match. Customize with accessories or choose a ready-to-go option. Trusted by Albertans since 1997 for quality. Visit golfcartpeople.com to find your cart and hit the road or fairway your way.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
It's road trip season, and that means loading up on the road trip essentials like snacks, tunes, and Hondas. Sherwood Honda has fuel-efficient, dependable SUVs, hybrids, crossovers, and more to take you up, down, and all around this province and beyond. Travel in comfort and safety, going where you want to go, when you want to go, stopping to see whatever catches your imagination on the way. Summer road trips make memories that sure would last. Start yours off right at Sherwood Honda.
Portions of this hour brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Employee pricing is on now at GMC. Get up to $12,000 off a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali Ultimate only at gmccanada.ca.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
3:45. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. The Gregor Show is always presented by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50. You'll get a free $50 play at PlayAlberta.ca. As it's time for the Oil Report, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. The Discover Day sales event goes till the end of the month, where you can lease or finance a 2025 XC plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $7,500. Great vehicles, better service, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. And our guest today is a gentleman who has more wins than any coach, regular season or playoffs, since he joined the NHL on November 12th of 2023. It's been to consecutive Stanley Cup finals as a head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. Chris Knobloch joins us. Coach, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Jason.
Hey, Chris, I saw you at Monday Morning Magic. What is like the ride of choice for Chris Knobloch at K-Days?
The ride of choice would be anything that had some leg room, because not all of them did.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess for a talk. Now, when you were a kid, were you a ride guy?
No, I was not at all. It was actually when my kids were old enough to go on the rides. That's when I became a ride guy. So I actually liked the roller coasters and stuff like that. Before, when I was younger, not at all.
Not at all. So have you taken your kids to the like at West Edmonton Mall? Did you ever go on the old roller coaster before they took it out, like when you were playing for the Bears?
I did. Maybe even when I was playing junior there,
okay.
I was on it. And that was probably the first roller coaster that I actually went on. And it was my mom or my sister that got me on it, and I went on it. And since then, I've gradually got a little more brave and got on some more rides. And usually it goes the opposite way. As you get older, you get a little less these. But I'm going the opposite.
All right. Well, that's a good thing. Also, we're auctioning off dinner with yourself and Speck for Sports Central coming up in September. And, Speck was saying, so any questions eligible here that's hockey related? Is that the rules?
Oh, the more the merrier. I love hockey questions.
What about like getting into coaching for you? Was it like when you were playing at the U of A, was it on your mind? Did you start thinking about coaching? Like what all, or was it not until you were done university?
It wasn't until after I was done university. When I was at university, I saw Rob Dahm and had a lot of respect for him. I thought he was a great coach and loved what he was doing with our team. And I had a lot of respect for him because he was a good coach. And, I thought about it a little bit then, but not that I would actually get into it. I always thought I was going to be a police officer, and most likely here in Edmonton. And then I went away, played some hockey, and we returned back to Canada and needed something to do. And I was approached by Rory Stasiak about the possibility of coaching the Lethbridge Hurricanes as an assistant coach. I didn't get that job. They gave it to somebody else, but it opened up some doors and mostly opened up my mind to get into coaching. And I ended up getting the job that summer with the Prince Albert Raiders.
So you actually were thinking about being a police officer. Did you ever go to like one of those seminar things, kind of an introduction to it, or not really?
No, not that much. I through my hockey, I had been billeted with police officers.
Okay.
And so I knew a lot about it. My sister became an RCMP member. And it was just always kind of on my mind that that's what I was going to do. And I went to school at the University of Alberta as a backup plan. I went to got into education, and not that I thought I was going to be a teacher, it was just something else to have. And it came in handy. I think it opened up a door to get into coaching and probably help me get that first job.
Chris Knobloch joins us. So that's fantastic. It's interesting. So you take those turns and you get an offer to job in Lethbridge, but you don't get it. And then it opens up some doors and you went to PA. What was it about it originally where you felt, okay, you know what? Coaching's for me.
Well, I always liked my experience teaching. Like even when I was in high school, I had spares, and for my free time, I'd go to the elementary classes and help out however I could, whatever they were doing. And I always enjoyed being in that environment, helping younger kids. And I don't know, I always said that I always liked coaching or teaching, but I can't say I was really passionate or super knowledgeable in any one subject except for hockey. So I guess, being able to be a teacher and my subject was hockey, perfect. Get into coaching. So I guess that was a perfect match for me.
Yeah, and it makes sense because in essence, you're somewhat of a teacher. To be a coach, you have to be a great communicator. And you started out in 06, 07 with PA, and then quickly you went to Kootenay as an assistant. Then you got a head coaching job, won a championship in your first year as a head coach. So it seems that everywhere you go, you have kind of instant success a little bit. In Erie, you had lots of success. You won a championship there. You've been to 2 Stanley Cup finals here with the Oilers. When you look back at your first year in Kootenay in 2010-11 as a head coach, what is the thing you've learned the most now, 15 years later, from that first year as a head coach?
Oh, I don't know if I can put my finger on just one thing. I think there was a lot of it. I was pretty green. I remember coaching 4 years as an assistant, and there's a lot of things that I didn't know, but I lucked out completely. And a lot of the coaching is getting opportunities, is just timing of when something is available, when you're available, and having it work out. And I feel like through my coaching career, I've been very fortunate with my timing. And I remember in Kootenay that year, I was Mark Pollock, who I worked with. I have a lot of respect for him. He was great for me, great mentor. And he got a job to go to the American League. I went to Syracuse, and the job was available. And, I wasn't ready. It was my boss that said I wasn't ready. He told me that, said that in the papers, and it was fair. It was a fair assessment. But as summer went on, that position couldn't get filled, and I was fortunate. I was the last man standing. I was able to, all right, well, let's go with Chris. So within a couple months, I was told I wasn't ready till I was ready. And so anyways, I went in that year, and I remember, a lot of uncertainty, not sure what to do. Is now that you're the head coach. But I remember I had outstanding leaders. Like my captain was Brady McNabb, who's with Vegas now. But especially my 3 20-year-olds were incredible. Kevin King, Matt Fraser, and lastly, a local guy here from Edmonton, Steel Boomer. Those 3 were spectacular, and they really helped me along the way and just made it a much easier transition for me becoming head coach just because of their leadership.
Chris Knobloch joins us, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. And Chris, obviously, you had the bug for it, you had the passion, and it's something that's worked well for you because, you get to the NHL and you've had a lot of success for it. Learning along the way, I think one of the hardest things to do as a coach is learning, to how to balance being a good communicator, but also holding players accountable. And I think holding your best players accountable at any level can be difficult, right? Like you played, but it is different. Like I know we had Glenn Galton on. He tells me some people think that, hey, you get the star players and they're great, but those guys demand a lot. How have you and you had some really good players at different levels, but how have you learned, who gave you tidbits on kind of how to hold your best players accountable?
I think it's just been learn as I go. I've had a lot of good star players, and Connor and in Erie, but we had a lot of good star players during that time and after they left, which helped me balance those relationships. And I don't know, probably the biggest challenge, and it is your star players, keeping them accountable, but that's probably the biggest challenge for coaches, holding the younger guys accountable, but also giving them opportunities to grow into their position and just gaining confidence. You want the players, especially young players, to be able to play their game and, not be immediately punished for making a mistake. But there is the accountability part of it, is holding them accountable, because there's other, 19, 20 players that are also watching to see how they're being treated and how they're being held accountable. So, I think probably as a coach, there's that fine line of letting the players play to their fullest potential, but also keeping them accountable because of the team dynamics.
And that's, you haven't had a ton of rookies in Edmonton your first years, a few. And obviously it sounds like you might have, 2 in Matt Savoy and Ike Howard this coming season, a right winger and a left winger. And I know you talked that, hey, we think, Ike Howard on the second unit power play to start, and you want Matt Savoy, to at least get into the penalty kill. And your penalty kill, Mark Stewart was there last year, and I know you talked about it. It didn't go as you would have liked. It would have been foolish to change it after the unreal year you had and, like the record-breaking playoffs you had. When you take a step back now and you look, what was different about your penalty kill that just didn't work last year to the success rate you had the year prior?
Well, I think up front we lost maybe a little bit of speed, but not very much. But on the back end, there was a lot of, we lost especially right-handed defensemen. And I think it's really important on the penalty kill, having the guys play their natural positions. It just helps out with being in the shooting lane to block, but also having your stick in the right lane. And we had an abundance of left-handed defensemen that, had to play their offside. And I think overall they did a pretty good job. But I think it's just easier if you're on your strong side.
Right.
And we lost Darnay, DC. Those are 2 pretty good penalty killers.
Yeah.
And, I think during the playoffs, 5-on-5, we were able to replace it with guys coming in. But I think on the penalty kill, we also missed Emerson. Emerson, who was a guy that was a right-handed shot, played a strong side. And I don't think he got enough credit about how good of a penalty killer he was. So, going forward, there's a guy that we'll be relying on a lot next year, being in that position. And then I think also we were really streaky. I think for probably from, mid-November or even November 1st till March, we're probably about 7/8 in the league on the penalty kill. So it was pretty good. Wasn't at the Stanley Cup playoffs the previous year level, but it was still pretty good. But when it was bad, it was really bad. And that's really where we got in trouble.
Chris Knobloch joins us. Chris, you go to back-to-back Stanley Cup. Like, it's hard to improve on what you've done. Obviously, it's just a few more wins in essence, and that's the difference. It's a extremely fine line. And this year, man, you dominated against Vegas, and you dominated against Dallas. 8-2 and full marks. Like, those were not fluke victories. Like, your team dominated those games. So there was way more positives, I would think, to take from other than the ending, which is hard to get over. And you went through it last year, early on. And historically, I went just through the last 10 teams who lost the Stanley Cup final. It's hard to get off to a good start. The average is like 4-5-1, right? It's just mentally, emotionally, I'm sure you get back together and it's hard. What did you learn from that maybe you can incorporate this year that, you can try to avoid that slow start that seems to plague a lot of the teams that lose in the Stanley Cup final?
Yeah, that's a fine balance because as a coach, you're always wanting to push your team to be the best that they can be, but there's times where a coach has to be pushing harder than at other times. And it feels like as a coach, you don't want to be necessarily pushing too hard right from the start when you're at game 0. And, hopefully we learned from last year, know that it just makes the season a little bit harder for us. We've got a different team. Well, from the first Stanley Cup final team to the next, our team was completely different. Over the summer, it changed. We have quite a bit of change this summer too. So it'll just be about getting everyone acquainted with our systems, finding the best lines that will work together, and hopefully we get a great start at the beginning of the season because you look at our schedule, the first month or 2 months, for that matter, is a grind. It's a tough one. With 2 very long road trips to the East Coast. After that, it gets a little bit better. But coming back after losing Stanley Cup final is difficult. And then on top of that, it's going to be a difficult schedule. So we're going to have to make sure that we are ready for it. and not dig ourselves a huge hole.
And Chris, changes to your coaching staff, most notably Glenn Gulletson moves on to Dallas as a head coach. Paul Coffey not returning. Mark Stewart will take over on the defense. Do you see any real reason to change any significance in how you play 5-on-5 as a group, or is it more going to be some tweaks on your penalty kill?
The change definitely would be on the penalty kill. That would be the biggest adjustments that we'll make. As for a 5-on-5 play, we're always looking at how we can get better in certain things. And, overall, I think we're going to be pretty much the same systems. It's taken us to the Stanley Cup final twice. And I think there's just being a little more emphasis on, a little more skill development for those just to execute plays. And that's kind of with our coaching staff. We pretty much kind of reduced one traditional coach, looking at the 5-on-5, more of the system play. And we added more of a traditional skills coach, focusing on player development. And obviously with having some young, high prospects coming in, as you mentioned, with Savoy and Howard, that, help those guys tremendously. But I think also with veteran players, they're always looking to improve their game. There's always skills that you can work on. And we wanted a guy that was completely focused on that skill development or enhancement that can help all our players. So, with the coaching staff, we kind of added that position.
Okay. So would you have then some more like practices that are just going to be like skill development practices?
We will have that, and we'll probably break up our traditional practices with skill development, maybe at the beginning of practice, more at the end, breaking it up like that. And, we're very fortunate here in Edmonton having 2 ice sheets.
Okay.
So we can always do skills with a handful of players on one ice and then have them join our main practice immediately without losing any time with ice scrapes or anything like that. So, we want to implement more of that this year. It's something that's very difficult to do in the at the NHL just because of the travel and the schedule and how many games you play. But I think it's important. Our players spend so much time doing skill development over the summer, and then the regular season happens, it's almost non-existent.
Yeah.
So, which I think is just not right. I think we should be incorporating more of that in the regular season. So, hopefully, it's a great plan right now, and hopefully we can execute it.
Now, Chris, is that something that just you felt was important yourself? Is it Mark Stewart? Where did this idea come from? They felt like and I love it because I look at an organization and I see player development, and a lot of it's on these young players. And the harsh truth is the vast majority of them don't play in the NHL because it's really hard as you get higher up in the pyramid. And then you have your best players who are in the NHL and they do skill development, and then they get to their season. And I know it sounds dumb, but if you don't maybe work on certain little drills, all of a sudden in a game, that reaction time isn't where you want it to be because you haven't worked on it. Was this something did you look at film or studies? What made you come up with this idea? Because I think it's fantastic.
Well, I think, I think once players get to the NHL, it's almost as if their development's done. They've made it to the highest level, and let's just let them play. And, I don't think that's right. And I think, my time in junior hockey and in the American Hockey League, the emphasis is on development, getting these players better. And, I think it's important that we were doing that. So I think between, my experience with in the American Hockey League with Hartford, I thought we had a good program there, and a lot of emphasis on player development. And but also talking with Stan. Stan had the exact same vision, so it was really easy for us to work together and find a way for this to work. And he and I went through the application process of finding good coaches to fill our entire bench and the skill development role. And so I think Stan and I were very aligned on this position.
And lastly, before I let you go, Chris, really appreciate your time. Have you made your way to your doppelganger's church for a sermon yet this offseason?
No, I have not. But maybe in the Stanley Cup Finals, I'll make my way there and needing something to put us over the edge.
Oh, hey, that's not bad. A little divine intervention maybe at the next year in the Stanley Cup Final. I like it. Well, Chris, thanks so much for this, and thanks so much for helping out with Sports Central. People looking forward to it. We'll raise some money here in the final few hours to go for dinner with Chris Knobloch at Vivo Ristorante. Thanks so much for your time, Chris. Enjoy it. The remainder of the summer, and we'll talk to you again in September.
Thanks very much, Jason. See you later.
You betcha. That is Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Edmonton. I love that idea. We talked about that, Cons, a few weeks ago on the show. I was a big believer in more skill development, and it is fascinating because you have the players who do it all year in the offseason, and then the season comes and you don't do anything. And it's like muscle memory. Like, these are the best of the best. And I found it interesting that we got a player development. But the player development was all about prospects, where the truth is 80% of them don't play ever in the NHL because it's really hard to get there. So why not focus on developing the players you have there? And all of a sudden, that could be the difference in, maybe the team shooting percentage goes up a little bit. Maybe when you've got a chance in front, you're not just putting it in the pillows. You're putting it in the open area, right? It's the difference of if you only have 3 inches above the pad, you find that 3 inches. Maybe you only have 4 inches over the shoulder pad. Maybe you're going to find it a little bit more often. I'm fine. You know what? I don't love watching practice all the time, but man, I'm looking forward to that for next season to kind of see what they're doing in the skill development drills. So one of the new coaches on the team that maybe we don't talk about enough might be having to talk to the Oilers and the new skill development coach a little bit more. So looking forward to that. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home to no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer. LegacyHeating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Busy night in the majors, including the Toronto Blue Jays looking to make it 2 straight against the New York Yankees. First pitch 5:07 from the Rogers Center. Elsewhere, you got the Tigers and Pirates. Orioles head to Cleveland. Mets hosting the Angels. Royals taking on the Cubs. 45-year-old Rich Hill will make the start for Kansas City. Also, Astros in Arizona. Mariners host the Brewers, and the Twins taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. In the WNBA, tonight, Sparks in Washington. The Liberty host the Fever. Chicago takes on Minnesota, and the Aces host Atlanta. Riverhawks back in action. Darren Wenatchee taking on the Apple Sox. First pitch set for 7:35 Mountain Time. And from the NFL, a couple former Pro Bowlers looking like they're going to hang him up. Tight end Jimmy Graham announcing that he plans to officially retire with the New Orleans Saints, and Tyrann Mathieu, safety for the Saints, Texans, Chiefs, and Cards announcing his retirement as well. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be rejoined by our co-host, Terry Ryan, here from Jason Strudwick, and Ask 5 Questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
For all things golf carts, it's the Golf Cart People. Their certified techs provide expert service from maintenance to custom upgrades. Customers can explore the sales floor for new and used Club Car, Yamaha, and EasyGo models. The Golf Cart People stock a wide variety of parts and accessories to keep every ride in top shape and offer convenient rentals for tournaments, weddings, and festivals. Trusted for sales, service, parts, accessories, and rentals since 1997. Visit the Golf Cart People at golfcartpeople.com, your complete golf cart solution.
Easy airport parking? Choose Park to Go, Edmonton's top-rated provider on Google. Book self-park or valet and save up to 30% with promo code RADIO. Visit park2go.ca. That's RADIO.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 EEE. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
My dog ate my homework.
Everyone else is doing it.
But Mom said I could stay up late.
Kids are great at making excuses. As parents and teachers, we're good at seeing through them.
And we're not buying the Alberta government's excuses for underfunding public education, leaving our kids with crowded classes and without one-on-one supports. Go to stoptheexcuses.ca and tell the government to start funding schools right. A message from the Alberta Teachers Association.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. It's Terrific Tuesday. Get 40% off any regular price pizza when you use the code word 40Tuesday at the start of each pizza order at papajohns.ca.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$4.10. A little Ozzy Osbourne for us to play tribute to, of course, a rock and roll legend, Ozzy Osbourne, who passed away earlier today. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Your one-stop shop for sports, live dealer, lottery, instance, and it's Tuesday, Lotto Max. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Fitting that in the week that Leon Draisaitl is getting married, it's $29 million tonight at Lotto Max. Now, speaking of the Max, hey, let's get this up. We're at a steal of a deal, like 800 bones. That's it for dinner with Coach Knobloch. I just had him on. Fantastic. You can talk about skill development, all the other things you heard. I love what he said about, I think it's actually harder sometimes to find the balance of holding your young players accountable, but also letting them make mistakes to flourish as a young player. And I really like that. So we'll get your, if you want to go for dinner at Vivo Ristorante, unbelievable restaurant in town. So 4 of you with Coach Knobloch as well as Spec. It's at 833-401-1440. So 800, that is an absolute steal. Okay, absolute steal. So let's get it up. We're helping out Sports Central, and away we go. So 833-401-1440 if you want to have dinner with Coach on anytime in September. So it's coming up quick. Okay, they'll make it work on a night, and away you roll. So maybe even in late August too, but most likely in September. 833-401-1440 to help out Sports Central, which is an amazing charity that just allows kids to play sports. So sometimes it's simple things. Just get them a bike. Just think about all the freedom you had on your bike as a kid. It's one of the great, oh man, you're biking all over. Didn't matter where your buddies lived. Away you go. Should be good. Now, let's bring back in Terry. Ryan joins us. TR, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Well, hey, Coach Knobloch was just telling us how this coming season, one of the changes that they're going to implement for their team is they're going to have more skill development focus, where they hired a new coach who is basically comes with mainly a background in working in skill development, right? And which in Connor Allen, which I think is very important, right? Like when you think about it, and I talked about this on my show a few weeks ago, how there's so much focus on player development, but it's usually for young players, and they need to develop. But the harsh truth is 80% of them aren't playing in the NHL. That's just a fact, right? So why wouldn't you keep working on the development you have of your young players or even your skill guys? Like Connor McDavid, as great as he is, he'd probably have more fun working on skill development in the practice than a breakout, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's something that it's not like if you watch the Stanley Cup final and you went, oh man, they didn't have enough skill development, but it is something that I've questioned. I think I've talked to Struddy about this, but I used to question that. I used to be like, okay, here I am. I'm in the AHL. I'm in the NHL. I'm here. Like, what? Like, I guess. And I just used to wait around after practice, and like I used to work on like my edges, and then I'd be like, should I still be out here? It doesn't look good to go off. So I just do one-timers, which I never took. I didn't take one-timers, but it was just like we would take. And I must have taken 500 of them in like a week at practice, and there was no need. I wish. And I'm like, man, I had to work on my skating. I really did. And I went in the summers. Now, the Canadians were decent about it. Like in the summers, if I just convinced them that there was a place worthy enough for them to pay, and they would always do it. Like my Brad Brown and I, we went to Sweden a couple of years, Brock University. We went to Brainerd, Minnesota more than once. Hired Laura Stam. So like really like did a lot of work on that. But I had to do it all myself. I had to look, and I always wondered, I'm like, why don't we just have people that are here with us after like working on skill development and things that we need to do? I never understood it. It was so obvious to me that it needed to happen, and I'm glad now it's a more prominent thing. And I mean, for anybody to scoff at that, it just doesn't make sense. It can only help. There's nothing that's going to do that's going to take away from any of your players' improvement. If anything, it'll help. Some more than others.
Oh, God, yeah. Like there's just continually, taking a play off the wall, right? Puck off the wall, come out of the corners. You just get the habit. And these are the best players in the world, but you always got to refine your skills, right? It doesn't matter. It erodes probably the wrong word, Terry, but it does. I think guys kind of they lose a little bit of the sharp maybe at different times of the year.
Well, of course, it's like I remember going and getting a real problem, or at least an obstruction that you face every game as a winger, man, is coming out of that zone. And if the rim comes around, that the D is coming on you, right? So, but you can't jump out of the way. You got to figure that out. And then also there's sometimes where it's not such a control breakout, but it's a breakout, and you got to take that pass from the, you're breaking out and you're on the wing, and you take the pass from the D, who's usually like maybe behind the net or on the side of it as you're breaking out. But like if you put your head back and look, and there's a point you got to trust that, because like the D, if it's Scott Stevens or I don't know, Dion Phaneuf or whoever might stop there, Trouba now, and nail you, right? So you got to really get used to it. And especially with the puck coming around, because you can take it off your skate, or you can like angle your skate up to your stick if you're confident, or you can, if you know the guy's coming, you can kind of just let it go and let your centerman take. But there's a real art to it. Like, I mean, it's timing.
Yes.
So for baseball player, I used to say this isn't a new idea, but I used to go like, for baseball players that go to batting practice, like, why don't we just do this way more? Like you start getting used to it, or pucks coming from the point, like off the wall. Like I shouldn't be waiting for a game to do these things. But the only reason I was doing them is because I just went out on my own. And now this wasn't a new thing. You'd work on things. I remember that being one that wasn't so worked on all the time. But, getting guys like Aaron Asham had to do the same thing. He was a right winger. I was a left. I used to go, man, if we got a rink full of pucks here, like there's nobody else out, like just drill, like nail them over to me. These guys would, like Patrice Brisebois would rim it across, man. It would hurt. But you got to take it, because that's what a winger does. And that's just my example. And skating, right? Like, and I used to put pylons out and, like go and get Laura Stam to fly in somewhere. And Penn Ticton, I remember going there in the summer and getting a week with her and writing all these things down. We could have just had a coach, a skills coach or a skate coach there on premise. It would have made more sense. But anyway, I'm glad that it happens.
Yeah, it's taken a while. Not all the teams do it. And to me, it'll be interesting to see if last year the team had a lower shooting percentage than normal. So for it to go up won't be a major surprise. But I will be watching certain guys, and something that, to follow to see, how often you do it. The Oilers, they do have a lot of road games early in the year, so that might impact it, that you can't do it as much as you would like. We'll see, but I think it's got to be a concerted effort. But the other thing is, Terry, it also, I think, can be a little bit more of, we talked about this earlier, an element of fun into your team at times, right? Where, you can do this and you can have a little bit more fun with it. And maybe in a weird way, it just relaxes some players in ways that they didn't really think it would relax them, because now they're not thinking about the fact they haven't scored. Or if you haven't scored in a while, you can be like, yeah, but I got more confidence to believe I will get out of it, because we keep working on our passing drills and our shooting drills.
100%. And fun is one way to put it. And just a break from the monotony is another, right? Just, I used to hate that, coming out going, okay, God, some good coaches too, but like, Okay, I know we're going to do the three-way horseshoe first.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to stand on all four blue lines. We're going to pass it. It's going to turn into the 2-on-1, and then we're going to make that a 2-on-2. Then we're going to put all the pucks at center, and we're going to do the breakout, and then we're going to do the breakout with a regroup, and then we're going to do breakout, regroup, back checker. Then we're going to do slap shots, and then it was like and that was more than one team often had the same format, like because I guess someone must have won with it back in the day. And it was just like, oh God, like going out just hoping for anything that might just break the monotony just a little bit, right? Like, who knows? Maybe we'd have a little game of 3-on-3 in the middle or something, just like, whoa. But, or we could have just done different drills and worked on our skills and things. And I mean, far be it for me to complain for being a professional hockey player for years and get an opportunity to do that. And, but there were times during, I'm like, this could be a whole lot more beneficial, because if you're smiling and fun is one thing, but just not bored, you're probably going to get more out of it. Just you're probably going to do that. And you'll be surprised. I know there's guys listening to this going, yeah, man, I thought the same. Why do we have to have the same practice every time? It was nuts. And all kinds of teams did it. And you just go, just get me out of here, and not for a lack of wanting to work. I remember, you're paying me. I want to be at the rink, but I'd look forward to, maybe at the end doing my own thing or going in the weight room and listening to tunes and working on my, plyometrics or whatever. But, whenever it gets predictable and monotonous, like, let's move on and let's break it up here.
Yeah. No, I love what you said about boredom. As much about fun, it's just, you keep fresh, and you probably get a little bit more out of a practice session when you're not bored stiff, right? I think that would make a lot of sense. So I could understand that one for sure. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Struddy will join us next. It's the Gregor Show.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties.
All right, well, that's a good thing.
Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female
Tuesday afternoon, Sports
Silent Ice
1440.
also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena.
YouTube,
the Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku.
325. Welcome back.
1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
Rivalry runs deep in Alberta football.
The team kick things off, designing and building with.
Welcome back, Jason Gregor.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The Discover Days sales event has been extended at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $7,500. Final month extended. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $4,000. Save up to $7,500 on a 2025 demo XC40. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Breaking news, McDonald's international menu items are vanishing. McPizza Bites missing in Italy. Big Rusty stolen from Germany. Teriyaki chicken sandwich disappears in Japan. And a Biscoff McFlurry blackout in Belgium. Oh, it's just in. We can now confirm the stolen favorites have resurfaced at McDonald's Canada. The international menu heist. Try them all while you can. For a limited time in participating McDonald's in Canada.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
426 as we roll through Tuesday afternoon. Vance came in at 1,000. Jason was in at 1,100, and now Brian is up to 1,200. So now we're rolling a little bit. Let's keep it rolling. The dinner for Chris Knobloch to sport at Vivo Ristorante, and it's all in support of Sports Central. So hey, we got an hour and a half. Let's pump this up a little bit. We just had Coach on, and I think you can get a great insight. The skill development, something that's going to be a big addition to their team this season, as they've hired a new skills coach in Connor Allen. It's been working with a lot of it's unique, younger guy who comes in with a history of working with young skilled players, and I think that is it's a very good addition to the organization. Something that's maybe a little overdue potentially. So we'll see. But if you want to go for dinner with Coach, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. As we go in the room, actually, let's go to Struds On, brought to you by Action Electrical. Building owners can earn a refundable federal tax rebate of up to 30% of a solar's project capital cost right now. It's called the ITC. Learn more, actionelectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
I don't believe in tea bags. I use loose leaf tea, and it is so much better than the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags. I'll
Struds On.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I mean, I guess if you hand me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds On.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. You need to have clean nut. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds On.
Oh, Struddy, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, hey, buddy. It's your first hit as a 50-year-old, so congratulations on that. I do want to point out, so I ran into Struds just by fluke last Monday. We're at Hockeyology in the morning and his son, his son forgets his socks, and so Struddy's having a good laugh about it. Oh, my goodness. So then I don't go on Tuesday, but then I show up Wednesday. And who do I run into but a lovely Mrs. Strudwick? And she proceeds to tell me that on Tuesday, Struddy, after giving me a big laugh, can't believe the kid, you looked in his bag and he still forgot his knee pads.
Yeah, I did. So I was all over. I'm like, I believe the kids have to figure it out on their own. Like, I'm not your butler, right? So I took a look in it, and I do skates, helmet, and gloves. So I figured out everything else is there. Well, he had actually done a video showing everything going in his bag and sent it to me, and then somehow a knee pad got out. So then we just went home, and like Vanessa and Pisani were just all over me, right? Like, this is embarrassing. Like, it is, but it's embarrassing for my son. A little bit embarrassing for me. So I come home, my wife's like, I'm bringing him tomorrow. I'm like, I think that's a good idea. We're 0 for 2.
Unreal. Struddy, I don't know if you heard the conversation we had with Coach Knobloch, but the Oilers are going to, they hired the new skills coach, Connor Allen. But, and I know, Struddy, I remember you telling me, like, you got so resentful of amount of bag skates that you did. And, what's his way back in the 90s? They never did. He's like, man, I'd be better off working on the skills so I could play more. Shape wasn't the issue. And the Oilers are going to implement a lot more skill development practices during the upcoming season.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, the things have changed a lot. And I'm not jealous of many things, but I am jealous of the access that players have to these types of skilled players. And then the second piece is, how do you work them in for the guys to get better at it? Now, let's be clear. Skill development practices, they shouldn't be too taxing physically.
Yes.
Right? You're moving small. You're not, like, the idea of skating the full ice to get a shot. It's not happening. You're in small areas doing small things. And when I played, a lot of it was self-driven, right? You'd maybe watch someone else practice and steal a drill because the coaches that just, they that wasn't the way at that time. So now, if you're a player and you want to work on something, I'm thinking of specifically Paul Colson. He to me is the perfect guy. How can I get extra reps, extra shots, extra touches before or after practice, maybe on a day off? I can go in there and talk to the guy and say, hey man, can we meet for 30 minutes? Can you come work with me? When I was, and really it was at the end of my career, we had Steve Serdachny, and he came out a few times, but I would have loved to have him way more, right? Just to work on small things. So I think that this is a conversation that has to have, obviously the coach drives it, but then players that want to work on it, you have to step up and say, okay, what do I need to work on? And how can I do this with the skills coach? And it would make a difference. And it's not taxing. Like, let's be clear, this isn't a taxing thing. It shouldn't be. You do it at high pace when you're fresh. And then you make sure you get your reps, and it can really make a difference over the course of, a whole season.
Oh yeah, no question. TR was talking about it. Same thing for him, that they'd send him elsewhere. He's like, God, imagine if we had a skills coach on our own team. What a difference it could make. He also talked about how there were some personnel things, but they're looking at tweaking their penalty kill. As a guy who killed a lot of penalties, when you look at the makeup of the Oilers' penalty kill, all right, it sounds like Ty Emberson's somebody that they're going to want to use more as a right shot. He believed that not having righties, wasn't something that was great for them. What small tweak would you implement for the Oilers' penalty kill this upcoming season?
Well, I guess the thing that pops on my head is it seemed like they weren't always in unison, and everyone's going at once. And we'd see it at times where one guy would press and the other two wouldn't, move, or the third guy would be standing still. So if one guy presses, y'all have to press. And I always felt so great when you're able to press at your own blue line, and someone had to chip it in, and then you had to fight in the corner for the puck because they had to chip it by or dump it in. And then you have the advantage because now they don't have puck possession. So you want to try to create those moments to fight. And once there's a fight, let's get more than one player in there. So the puck goes into Ty Emerson's corner. Maybe the other D-men can come in there. The other forward can come in there. Now you maybe outnumber them 3-2 until they get that third guy in. So, those are small kind of details, but everyone has to really be on. You have to play on your toes on the penalty kill. And I think when you start, as they did, struggling, you kind of start doubting yourself, and your confidence isn't there. That's just like the power play. Confidence is a big part of that. So, again, force the other team to lose the puck, great battles, and then outman them where possible. And those aren't crazy new ideas for any team, but those things we definitely didn't see from the Oilers PK over the haul.
TR?
Struddy, do you think there's any world, is it possible at all, that Erik Karlsson ends up with the Oilers?
Man. Well, you got to move out a big deal, right? I mean, it'd be nice. Geez, that's a really tough one. So I think that this is the challenge, is that you have to move out a really big deal to bring him in. He's a power play guy, and you already have Bouchard in the power play. So Karlsson's been on two teams now where there are two guys running the power play as right shot. And I don't think either spot was a great fit for him in that situation. So although I like the idea of a puck mover, I like a puck mover that's younger and doesn't need to be on the power play to be at his best. Because if Karlsson isn't on the first line power play, and let's say you get him for even whatever the number is, crazy, but let's say $7 or $8 million because Pittsburgh holds some.
Yeah,
that's a lot to pay for a guy who's probably on your second/third pairing.
Good point. Struds, Ozzy Osbourne passed away today, and he was a St. Louis Blues fan. Who's your favorite Blue of all time? Mine would be Red Berenson.
Yeah, I saw that Ozzy passed, and I thought he was older than 70. Was he 76 or 77? That guy lived a long life. Like if he has 9 lives, I think he spent them all. He had quite the run, and a lot of my friends had watched his last concert. My favorite Blue, I'd probably say Pronger. Or Al McInnes. Like, he shot it so hard. Obviously I got to pick a D-man, but yeah, probably Pronger. He was there a long time.
Good answer.
Yeah. Struddy, I know the admiration for Prong. He would have picked you as his favorite Oiler, so that would be that would be even.
Who'd be yours, Gregor? Your favorite Blue?
Oh, Bernie Federko, no question. Grew up watching Bernie. He was a hell. And you know what? I've talked to Bernie, met him, just an absolute gem of a guy. So Bernie Federko would definitely be mine. I think Bernie Federko, a lot of people like Bernie Federko was a legit scorer. He's kind of a freedom fighter. He didn't have a lot of offense around him. The guy was a point of game player for many, many years. Really good player quietly in St. Louis at that time. Struddy, the other thing about the Jays right now, have you caught, are you a big baseball guy? I know your swing's terrible, but are you a baseball guy?
I actually went to the Riverhawks game, was it Friday night, and had to retell the story of my dad shaking his head and getting me out of there. My aunts and uncles were just dying. They couldn't believe it. You know what? So I guess I'd call him a fair weather Jays fan. And I've been watching the Jays, and what I love about them, two things, Greg. One is they're having so much fun playing, right? They're just so much. And number two, everyone in the lineup's contributing. And I don't know if that's the manager, I don't know if that's the veterans like Vladdy Guerrero. They're all empowered to go out there and make a difference. And you see it every night. I mean, the bottom of the lineup's not just there to fill jerseys while the other guys are waiting to hit. They are contributing, whether it's on, getting on base, while they're on base, defensively, they're all doing, and they're all contributing. It's so much fun to watch, and it's must-watch TV. I'm finding reasons to get home to put the game on, or watching it in 30. So they are a fun team to watch. And they're missing that Santander, their big boy. They're supposed to be smashing balls around.
Yeah, he hasn't. And it sounds like the latest update is he ain't coming back anytime soon. They're not sure he's even going to come back this year. So,
yeah. And I think with that, I think it's negotiation, because they're, maybe they know he's not going to play, but they're not going to tell the world that, right? They're like, oh, he might come back, so it doesn't kill their negotiation power. Oh, yeah, we got Santander back. We don't really need to trade for this power hitter when they're calling whoever, Arizona, who might have a couple.
Yeah, no, that's probably right. The little game within the game, that's valid. Struddy, how was your golf game today?
Oh, man. So I play every Tuesday, and I've been playing really well, but right now I'm just drowning. My partner's looking at me. He's like, why don't you just do 2 hours interview? I'm awful right now. The last 3 holes, I think I'm double, triple, and I've been playing really well. I have a couple 80s this year, but this is not good. So we're just about at the turn. I'll regroup, maybe a quick run just to loosen the swing up.
Yeah, if we're analyzing your game, what's wrong?
Well, at this point, everything. No, I've actually been hitting the drive really well, but I just sculled I was a nice drive on a par 4, and I just sculled it into the water on my second. I'm not focused. Let's just be honest. It's called what it is. Maybe conditioning's an issue as well. Shirt's too tight. So I think I'm going to turn it. I'll let you guys know how the back nine looks, but right now it's not looking. I'm looking at a 43 or 44 in the front.
Now, maybe you should have one of your favorite drinks at the turn.
Which one? I mean, they're China Whites?
Yeah.
I don't know if they have that here. I'm not sure this classy establishment makes China Whites.
Yeah.
So, maybe Shirley Temple.
Well, something, right? Something can make. So you say, now, did I hear you say you shot an 80 this year?
Yeah, I've had an 80 and 81. So all the guys are calling me sandbagger because my handicap's pretty high, and I've been dipping into their wallets, taking their money. But today I'm probably headed towards a high 80. So not pretty. But there's always a back half, right? I can turn it around. That's the great thing about, great competitors.
Have you ever broken 80?
A long time ago. I think I had 2 holes left, and I was at 68 or something. And the guy's like, oh, you're at 68. And I just just 2 6s in a row. Took an 80. Not pretty at all.
Oh, yeah. You know what, Struddy? Hey, that happened to me last year on the guys' tour. I could have shot an 83, which would have been the best. And then I took a 7. All I needed was a bogey, and I would have shot it. Took a 7. I was so rattled. I know.
So I'm mentally weak. I'm not there yet. My game's not there yet.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm actually. I only golfed once so far this year, but it was only in a scramble, so that doesn't even count. So I'm actually looking forward to getting a real round of golf out here soon. So see how it goes. Well, Struddy, enjoy your day. Enjoy the Jays game. Best of luck on the second half of the 18. The good news is, even if it's bad, you're still golfing. So could be worse.
No, exactly. Let's hope the Jays can split now. At least, I mean, they get a split. They're 4 games up. That's pretty good, because I'm sure the Yankees are thinking of doing the opposite. So, good opportunity here.
But the Jays don't think split, Struddy. They're thinking sweep, man. That's all they do. They lead the majors in sweeps right now.
Pretty insane. Let's hope it works out.
Awesome. Okay, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. Have a good one.
Hey, guys.
There you go. It's Jason Strudwick, live from the golf course where he just duffed one. TRU golf?
I've been golfing a lot this summer because of these charity events, and I haven't been playing a lot of ball hockey. So I guess it's more in my future than my past. I really don't do it a lot now, and it's embarrassing, but I am getting a bit better. So I guess like anything, practice. But I mean, I would like miss the ball completely when I started. Like not every time, but that wasn't outside of the realm of possibility. Just like swinging like a baseball bat, like renting this club and then not having any idea what was going on. Now I have a better idea. I just got to go to the range or something. But I do enjoy it this summer more than anything. I'd never golfed more than 3 times in a summer. Most summers, not at all.
Yeah, well, it definitely golf is a game that you have to play to get better. It isn't one where you're just like, hey, you know what? I'm going to come out here and take a few casual swings, and you might have one good round, but it's really hard to maintain it if you don't play it. Very different.
Yeah, I'm noticing that. Even, we just did a 4-day event, and by the mid-4th day, at least I'm not, putting it 4 feet. I'm hitting it. So I'm like, this requires, I guess, like you said, like anything, practice, but you got to be at it a lot. And I will be. Why not? It's a great thing to do in the summer. I just didn't have the time before. Penny Lane's 15 now, too, so I can leave. And, it wasn't really a possibility. Every second of every day was methodically thought out when she was 1 to 11, or 12. Now it's more possible.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. All right, we'll come back with 5 questions and more on the Gregor Show. We're also up to 1,300, I think it is, for our auction item. Still a steal of a deal here. So let's get this up for Sports Central, 833-401-1440. It's you and a group of, there's 4 of you to go for dinner with head coach Chris Knobloch and Spec. All right? So 833-401-1440. Let's help out Sports Central. Let's get this going.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks. Ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
It's the Bricks Price Meltdown. Score hot summer savings, like up to 40% off mattresses and a 10% instant credit towards sleep accessories. Save up to $900 off sofas and sectionals and up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages. Plus, buy more, save more on select kitchen appliances, up to $500 off. Even more, find hot prices on Canadian-made pieces and get up to 15% off patio furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
So you're dying from the heat, wet dripping on your sheets. You want to cool it down, but your AC can't compete. So you fall upon your knees and cry out, oh please, I need a cooling breeze. Send me Legacy's AC Repairman. Legacy's AC Repairman. AC Repairman. Can't spell Legacy without AC.
Legacy Heating and Cooling's got a guy who's really good at fixing broken ACs. So if you got one, call Legacy. Okay, see you later.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Imagine a family get-together where the smiles are as genuine as the conversations. That's the feeling you get at Nisku Ford, a family-owned dealership where finding a new Ford feels just like catching up with old friends.
Make sure to swing by Nisku Ford in July to take advantage of rates as low as 0%. Or choose rebates as high as $6,000 on 2025 models.
The coffee's on, so drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Calling all cheddar lovers, try Papa John's new cheddar crust one-topping pizza for only $17.99. Order online at papajohns.ca or through the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$445. We are now up to Vance came in at 1,500. Ricky is up to 1,600 now. So there we go. Rocking and rolling. 833-401-1440. If you want in to help out Sports Central, Tim asks, is there a specific date? No, it's just in the timeline of September. Well, they pick a few dates that work, but no, it's not like it has to be on September 1st or September 8th. No, it's flexible in that timeline that works for both the coach and your group. And then Viva, of course, will make it work for sure at their place. So yes, Tim, you got some flexibility, shall we say. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, where their block party price meltdown continues on. You can get 15% off patio furniture right now. How about $900 off sofas and sectionals, and save up to 40% off select mattresses, and to get an additional 10% credit towards sleep accessories right now at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Question number 1 for you today. I know we've discussed which teams could surprise in the NHL this season to make a jump, but which likely do you think will take the biggest fall?
Well, I don't know if I'm as confident that Washington are going to pull that off out of the playoffs. I don't know, but I don't think Ottawa are solid yet. I really don't. They turned it on at the end. They're not young like the Habs anymore. They're not full of piss and vinegar, this young team that I don't really know. I guess I should have looked at that, but they're not as young as you think. And they got in with putting it together at the end, but there's a lot of good teams, man. Look at those playoff brackets. I don't see a lot of those teams falling out, and I'm not sold on Ottawa yet. I hope they get in, but I don't know. I'm not sold.
Okay. The trend lately in the NHL is that 3 100-point teams will miss the playoffs. It's happened each of the last 3 seasons. So I'm going to look at a 100-point team, and I'm going to take the Los Angeles Kings.
All right. Question number 2 for you guys. We saw the Canadian coaching staff being fully announced yesterday. Let's get a way too early prediction for the men's hockey podium at the 2026 games in Italy.
Well, it's obviously Canada's going to win. In the final, they will beat Sweden, and then U.S. wins bronze.
Canada over U.S. in another epic battle. It's going to be won in overtime, and Switzerland's going to pull off an upset and get the bronze medal. There you go.
Ooh, nice.
I like it. Major League Baseball trade deadline coming in about 9 days now. If you could add one player who's going to be available realistically to the Jays roster, who would it be?
Okay, so if I had to pick a pitcher, just one that I like that's on a team that's going nowhere, I would pick Mitch Keller. I would pick Suarez from Arizona, Eugenio, I think it is Suarez, for third baseman. He's got a big bat, and you can kind of move guys around there. You don't have to be stuck to third base. The Jays have a lot of utility guys like that can play anywhere, so I think he could fit. But what I'd be most excited about, can't hurt to have some relief, is Aroldis Chapman. I'd love to see him come in and throw some heat when needed.
Oh yeah, man. He would be he wouldn't be a bad pick. There's no question about that. If I'm looking at the what's his name in Baltimore's got they got a few guys in their bullpen that I like. And I'm going to go with, I don't mind. He's not a big name, but I think Gregory Soto is the guy I would look for the Jays.
Go ahead.
Not going to cost you a whole bunch. And I think the Jays need at least 2 relievers, but you could never go wrong with another lefty out of the bullpen.
All right. Question number 4 for you guys. Of course, we got the auction going right now for a chance to go out for dinner with Spec. Coach Knobloch at Vivo, raising money for Sports Central. Right now, it's up to $1,600. My question for you, if you're going to Vivo, is Italian cuisine, what would be the go-to item?
Oh, if you've never been to Vivo, you have their fettuccine with their homemade sauce. It's unreal. It's the best pasta dish in the city.
Well, if it comes to pasta, literally, I have the legendary actress Maxime Roy inside my house shortly tonight, going to make me some pasta vongole. So I'll go with that. Some clams, pesto-ish sauce, and I'm going to pick that. It is my second favorite pasta dish, first being tortellini rosé.
Okay, whoa. You have like a chef coming in your house today? What's going on?
I don't have a chef. There's a girl that I met, so I'll tell you something. Back when I played on the Canadians, there was a girl that was just like, she was hot. Hot in looks, but also like she was a French actress that was just starting out in her prime. I was like 18 or 19, and I had a chance to meet her once at Jacques Villeneuve's bar on Newtown. It was called Newtown on Crescent Street that Patrice Brisebois had taken me to. And, after that, like, I don't know, she started going out with a rock star, and I never really saw her, and there was no way to contact her. So I come out on Shoresy, and I'm reading my script just like a few months ago. Well, last year she was first on the show, but anyway, we came out and met, and she happened to get a role on a show. And so, I went to Florida to visit her, and she happened to get a role on a show here called St. Pierre. She's like the police chief of sorts. Well, that's what she on the show. So she's in Newfoundland now, right up until November for the most part. She's been here for a couple of months, so we hang out, and she's making me that pasta tonight. Not a chef, my daughter's having her pizza party. Then I'm shipping all of them out to another party wherever they're going. And Maxim and I are going to eat the pasta vongole I spoke of and watch an old Quentin Tarantino recommended movie. There you go, Switchblade Sisters.
Nice. All right.
Final question, guys. Today, obviously, sad news. We talked about it. Ozzy Osbourne passing away at the age of 76. We've gone through a good chunk. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. A couple of his songs. He's got so many. But of all the hits, what's your favorite?
My favorite, I thought about this, man. It's not Crazy Train. I Don't Want to Stop is up there. Shot in the Dark is a personal favorite by him. Paranoid Iron Man. But I'm going to go with the album Masters of Reality, 1971. Children of the Grave. There you go. Children of the Grave. Good content. Great guitar. Black Sabbath sound. And Ozzy at his best.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, for me, I was never a huge heavy metal guy. But Crazy Train is one of my favorite songs. I think it's real catchy. It's probably, it's probably not metal enough for a true metalhead, but I'm not a true metalhead, so that's why I like it. Cons, what about you?
I would go back to a game I played, Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX, and I don't know what year it would have come out. I think 2001 on the PS2, PS3 maybe, and that was where I think I was first introduced to Ozzy outside of Crazy Train, and it was Paranoid with Black Sabbath. So I would say Paranoid is my favorite. It was like, what is this? I always try to get that song going when I was out there, fake BMXing. So that would be my pick.
I don't know if I've ever. Well, I've probably heard the song. I don't remember the song. You might have to play it later.
My God.
I played it already.
Oh, there you go.
What?
See, TR, I probably know the song. I'm terrible at naming songs. Right?
Hey, listen, when you hear it,
I'm sure I've heard it. Yeah.
You're going to correct yourself after you hear it. I know. I'm not just mocking. It's one of the most famous. You'll recognize it a fraction of a second in, and you've heard it 5 million times in your life.
It's called Paranoid.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Cons, do you have it right now? Okay.
I do. Definitely might have to take us off YouTube for that one.
No. That's okay. We'll play. I'll listen to it during the break. But
Thank you.
Yeah, that's bad on my part. Well, TR, enjoy your pasta this evening.
I certainly will, my friends. And you guys have an unreal night, and I'll talk to you again in a couple of days. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Edmonton. See you soon.
There you go. That's Terry Ryan joins us Tuesday, Thursdays here on Sports 1440. We'll take a quick break. We're up to, I think, what are we up to? 1,600 now, Cons? Yes, we are. We're up to 1,600 for our auction item today. Hey, it's slow going. It doesn't matter how we get there, as long as we get to where we'd like to help out Sports Central. So 833-401-1440. Dinner, 4 of you, alongside Chris Knobloch and Spec. So all helping out Sports Central. It's a fantastic package. 833-401-1440. Quick break. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by the Red Deer Resort and Casino. Elevate your stay. This summer, you can stay, play, or dine with them and grab a discounted gondola ticket to Banff Sunshine all summer long. The Highway to Heights runs until September 15th. See more at Red Deer Resort and Casino.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
15 games on the schedule tonight in the majors. Jays, Yankees once again. That gets going in about 10 minutes from Toronto. Underway already. Guardians up on the Orioles 1-0 heading into the second, and the Padres trail the Marlins 2-0 in the top of the second. Tigers, Pirates, Phillies, Red Sox, and Reds, Nationals all currently scoreless later on tonight. You got Cubbies hosting the Royals. 45-year-old Rich Hill making his first start of the season in Kansas City. Astros taking on the Diamondbacks. Mariners host the Brewers, and the Twins in Los Angeles. The Edmonton Riverhawks also taking part in a game tonight out in Wenatchee. That gets going at 7:35 in the WNBA. Got the Sparks and Mystics. Liberty host the Fever. Sky in Minneapolis. The Aces will host the Dream in Seattle, taking on Dallas. From the NFL, tight end Jimmy Graham indicated today he plans to retire from the NFL. He was a 5-time Pro Bowl selection who last played in 2023 with New Orleans, and Super Bowl champion, 3-time All-Pro safety Tyrann Mathieu has announced his retirement at the age of 33. He spent the last 3 years with the Saints after spending time with the Cards, Chiefs, and Texans. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
The Discover Days sales event has been extended at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $7,500. Final month extended. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $4,000. Save up to $7,500 on a 2025 demo XC40. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
And with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
If you're an experienced RV salesperson, you have to be concerned about the state of the industry right now. With so much uncertainty, companies are downsizing their sales teams, especially at new RV stores. Right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. Nobody knows what the future holds. But here at Noble RV, we're hiring. And we're looking for a very particular kind of RV salesperson. Of course, experience with used RVs is always an asset here.
This role requires a good sense of what the used RV owner needs, how to help them solve problems, and enjoy more of the great outdoors.
You got it, Bob. It's technically a sales position, but with none of the rat race you deal with now. You'd be more of a problem solver, helping RV owners with their ongoing experience. Someone with a few miles on the odometer is the ideal candidate. If you're ready for an exciting new career at Alberta's biggest used RV store, come find me, because there's a future for you here with us.
And that's Noble.
NobleRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money. Support Canada at Cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Is this paranoid? No, didn't think it was. Just after 5 o'clock, I've heard this song, No More Tears. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having an awesome day. We got a few guys bidding for the auction saying, hey, now I can find out why Spec blocked me on Twitter. So we're up to $1,700 now from Vance for the dinner package at Vivo Ristorante. 4 of you will dine with the head coach, Chris Knobloch, as well as Mark Spector from Roger Sportsnet. All the money's going towards Sports Central. Unbelievable charity. So let's bump this up a little bit. It's a final hour. So you've been sitting there waiting. I know some of you like to come in the final hour, which is awesome. Well, now's the time to do it. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Get your bids in. We'll end this at around 5:50-ish. 833-401-1440. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. It's Tuesday. You should get in the game because $29 million up for grabs at PlayAlberta.ca. Time now for the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. They are hiring. If you want to work for a great company, get a great career, go to gsconstruction.ca. As Mark Spector from Roger Sportsnet joins us. Spec, how you doing?
Doing great, man. I want to thank you for running this auction for me today, Jason, and those of us at Sports Central. Means a lot to us, and you always raise lots of money for us every year, so I think I should be saying thank you to you.
Oh, hey, no problem. And we thank the bidders to get in on it, and they got about 50 minutes left. We did have a coach on earlier in the show. He was telling us about his time at of course Monday Morning Magic, and some things he's going to implement a little bit different this year, and from the penalty kill to skill development and much more. So it should be good. That's kind of like a tip of the iceberg for anybody. As Coach said to us, any question is open, hockey related. He was quick to point out. So if you want to have a fun conversation with Coach Knobloch, who I did learn, Spec, today from Coach that when he was at the U of A, he never really had aspirations about being a coach. He actually thought he was going to be an Edmonton policeman. And then he went and played a year of minor pro. And when he came back, he was thinking about doing it. And then he got offered a job in the Western League as an assistant coach. He went through the whole process, didn't get hired, but then it opened up doors. And all of a sudden he's like, oh, maybe I should try the coaching thing. Turns out it's a pretty good decision.
Yeah, you know what? He's got law enforcement people all around his family. So he just figured he was going to follow right into that thing. I remember writing him when he first showed up. I think it was in like Seattle or something. Anyway, but you know what? He's your typical guy who was by the regular standards of you and me, Jay, and our listeners, he was a fantastic hockey player. He played for the Golden Bears. Anyone who knows anything about hockey knows if you can play at that level, you're a really, really good player. But what we also know is the Golden Bears are a hell of a long way below the National Hockey League, right? There's a big distance there yet. So, you know what? He learned from a good program. He knew his hockey. He probably knew more about it than he probably was better at knowing it than he was at playing it. And look at him. He's found his niche in the game. And, geez, his first 2 years as coach, he's taken teams to the Stanley Cup. I'm not sure he's doing anything wrong here yet.
No, not whatsoever. He's had incredibly high amount of success early on in his coaching career, and obviously Oilers fans are hoping that it continues. And it was interesting where I was asked him about his doppelganger and stuff. He says, well, maybe I'll get there when we're in the Cup again, so I can get some divine intervention. So confident that his team can get back there again.
Of course he is, and he should be. He's got a really good team. There's the Oilers window's wide open, and they went twice and they didn't win, but that has no reason. That doesn't. It's not like you only get so many times to get to the dance. They were better than the field in the Western Conference. Far better this year than the year before.
Yeah,
they beat Vegas at 5. They beat Dallas at 5. It's everyone else is the ones that have to catch up. So now he mentioned that this dinner needs to happen in September, right? Did we mention that?
You had mentioned that yesterday. Yes, we've talked about it. Yeah.
Make sure people want to know that. Chris wants it before the season starts, so we got a whole month. We'll figure that out during training camp. So.
Yeah, so it could even happen in August, right?
Yeah, sure. If everyone's around, and basically it's Chris around. I arrange this thing and get everyone in, and I'm certainly around. So yes, let's. And I want to say, like one time someone bought it and said, I want to bring my wife. So we phoned Chris, and he brought his wife, and I brought my wife, and we put a few more people around the table. It turned out to be a really fun night too. So you can do that, or you bring the boys, or whatever you want to do.
All right, so it's there are some options, is what you're saying for the
right.
All right,
can't bring Stauffer with you. That's the only rule. Because the rest of us want to talk too.
Yeah. Hey, Spec. A few things going on right now in the world of sports, and the hot story really in all of baseball is the Toronto Blue Jays. Right, they've been the best team here for the last. What are they, 33 now and 13 in their last 46 games? Since late May, they have been the best team in baseball. And you saw it last night, Spec, and I know you were a pitcher. And Kevin Gausman is a fastball pitcher. The Yankees hit fastballs better than any team in the league. And people are like, oh, he's going to throw. He went after them in fastballs and beat them at their own game. It's pretty impressive.
He did. I really loved what I saw of his game last night. I didn't watch the whole game. I'm fessing up here. I watched Jason 30 this morning, so I saw all his strikeouts. What I thought was he just had so much movement on his fastball. Like, today, if you only throw a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, that's no big deal.
Not anymore.
But he's throwing 92, 3, 4. Like, he's not really overpowering people, but man, he had a ton of movement on his fastball. Like, it was just running in on guys. And hey, listen, you go out and you 4-hit the New York Yankees through 7 complete innings. You're doing it right. Like that team can really swing the bat. And Gausman he was absolutely fantastic. What wins in the fall, right? Pitching and defense. And right now, these pitchers, the pitching staff, not just Gausman, but the whole staff. Hoffman's really coming around as a closer. Rodriguez as a setup man. I don't think anyone saw this many quality arms in this staff when the season started, did they?
Well, no, I don't think even Roger, I don't think, he's never put up numbers like he has, which is, and that happens with relief pitchers. And you just got to hope that you get the year where the guy's having a great year. And it does seem to happen, fairly regularly around the league, just with different players. And you just don't know when it's going to be your guy. That's all.
Yeah, right. But either way, listen, it's no different than hockey. There's always a little magic when you win, right? There's always a little magic. Like there's somebody that has a big season. There's a Fernando Pisani or a Chris Kontos or some guy that wasn't supposed to give you so much who gives you a ton. And baseball is no different. And right now, we talk about this in hockey. It's the old new hero every night thing. Every good team that wins tells the new hero every night story. And right now, the Jays are telling it. You know who else is telling it? The Milwaukee Brewers. They've also won 11 in a row.
Yeah. And
they're also killing it over in the NL. So there's a couple real hot teams in baseball, and the race are going to be fun.
Oh God. Like it is, it's been an interesting summer for baseball for sure. And it makes it more exciting. Mark Killam today, Spec, getting to the Elks, said that you'll find out on Thursday when the depth chart comes out who his starting quarterback is. Do you honestly, like, when you look at what their plan was, everything, and Trey Ford trended up in week 4, you're like, hey, man, the guy just had a perfect quarterback rating. We won the game. Everything's good. And then they have a brutal performance the following week. I don't see any way he doesn't start the game. He might not finish it, but I got to think Trey Ford starts. What about you?
Yeah, this is the old sports cliche that's so true, that don't get too high or too low, right? Don't fall too in love with a perfect quarterback rating. And let's not throw the guy in the river because he had a bad start and had 34 yards passing in 3 quarters. I mean, yeah, it was a crappy start. But I don't, he needs to stack up a couple of those before we give up on the Trey Ford project. That didn't we all know this season was about this, Jason? Didn't we all think that this was going to be the year Trey Ford gets to play? And did anyone think he was going to go out and put together 18 wicked great starts? Like, of course he's not. So you got to stick with this guy a little bit, don't you?
I would think so. Yeah. And I would. And that doesn't mean he just get carte blanche, right? So he's got to pitch better. He's got to pitch better. He's got to throw better than he did last game. There's no question about that in my eyes. But
for sure,
I do think that if the organization said, hey, we're going to give him a look, then you kind of got to give him a look.
Well, and he's caught, like, I think we saw this with, now I'm sounding old. I want to say, I think we saw this with a guy like Tracy Ham. They've decided, Trey Ford, don't run. Stay in that pocket and pass. Become a quarterback. And this is the project this year. And I get it. And it's a good project. And he needs to learn, just the way Damon Allen and Tracy Ham and Matt Dunnigan, they showed up as runners and they left as really good passers. But I also want to say, that's one of his best weapons.
Yes.
So when it's not going good, you still can run once in a while, right? You still can escape the pocket and go. And I think there needs to be, don't eliminate the strongest suit from his game. I get it. We don't want you running every down. But geez, man, when it's 2nd and 8 and it's not there, go get us a first down with those legs, because he's one of the best, most mobile quarterbacks in the league, right?
Mark Spector joins us. Spec, the Seattle Kraken and Capo Caco avoid arbitration. He signs a 3-year deal at $4.5, $2 million. And I look at Seattle. It was interesting. We had some people talking about, like, is there a boring team? And the Kraken were probably the team that got the most votes for kind of being a boring team in today's NHL. Now, I don't think they're boring because they give up a lot. But, like, they don't have a top-end guy. Matt Beniers, Shane Wright are their guys who maybe will be okay, but they got a boatload of older players who I think their best days are behind them. Right? You look at what they're doing. They just signed Capo Caco, and so they've got him and Wright and Beniers, and you're like, okay, maybe these they'll be okay. But man, like, Seattle's they're just a boring kind of ho-hum team.
They don't have any guys who your kid in Edmonton says, man, Dad, take me to the game against Seattle because I really want to watch that guy play. Like, that's what they don't have. Matty Beniers is really, really good. Shane Wright, at this point, he was one of those high draft picks that hasn't given you what you thought you were going to get. Maybe he'll get there. But listen, it's in Seattle, they're saying the same thing, Jason. Like, their TV ratings stink, right? They have brutal TV ratings in Seattle. They are, they're talking about an NBA team in that town, and the Seattle Kraken better get a foothold before the Supersonics come back or whoever they're going to be, because they have not. It's not like Vegas. Vegas went to that town and took it over and sold out and sold jerseys and became everything. Seattle has not. Certainly the Seahawks aren't looking over their shoulder right now at the Kraken, and the Kraken got to close that gap, man. They got to close that gap. The Mariners are there, like it's a big league city, and so far not so good for the Mariners. So this probably trends into what you're talking about. They don't have that guy that sells me a jersey that makes me want to come to the rink no matter what, right?
No, not at all. And like I looked at Seattle and I did some ranking, said the teams in the NHL right now who would benefit the most from getting Gavin McKenna, when I just look at like their franchise and where they're at in a rebuild and where they're at in excitement in their marketplace, I have Seattle at number 1. Then I have Buffalo, I know, which is crazy, at 2, and then Nashville at 3.
Nashville at 3. Mm-hmm. Okay, wait. Wait. Hold on. I blanked out on you for a second. Give me that question again.
I said the team that will benefit the most from McKenna, not only, but it's just an organization. I'm talking, so tank it this coming season to be bad and give yourself the best odds.
Oh boy. Yeah. Who's going that deep? I mean, is Buffalo still in this conversation? Oh my goodness. Like it's been what did they miss the playoffs? Is it 14 years?
Yep.
And we're still talking about them getting the number 1 overall.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying they need it.
Oh, hey, they need it. I hate to think that, people who say this about the Oilers, how many number 1 overalls do you need? I think we're saying this about Buffalo now. Nashville never intended to be here with the free agent class they had last year. The team I'd love to see get there. The team I'd love to see trade Rasmus Anderson, trade Blake Coleman, maybe make a couple moves this year. I'd love to see Calgary get there. I'd love to see Calgary finally say, man, I don't think this is going to be a great year for Calgary. And I think when the deadline comes, they're going to be a ways away from the playoffs, and they're Nazem Kadri's a guy that they could move. I'd love to see them finally, Jason, move some guys, get in line. And if Gavin McKenna ended up there, how awesome would that be?
Yeah, that's not a bad one. I know it's a long ways away, but I can Gavin McKenna is going to be a really good player.
For sure.
I'm not using the G word because I think it's unfair to any player. I just think Gavin McKenna is going to be a player that 5 years down the road, people are like, man, this guy he's a pretty damn good player in the NHL today. And, this year's draft class that just happened, I think there's some players, I don't know if right now they have the high end potential of Gavin McKenna. So we'll see. What
when
happens.
People talk about how next year's a really good draft and this year wasn't, Gavin McKenna's name has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, and this year's draft was good. It just, it didn't. A lot of people think it was a decent draft till about 15. And the funny thing is, I've heard drafts in the past of people, I'm not really sure about that draft, and then it's turned out to be a really good draft. So it's it's why spec first rounders, second rounders, and then undrafted players are the 3 who make up the most NHL players. There's a lot of players.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Undrafted guys are the third.
Yeah.
Ahead of third rounders.
Ahead of all the other ones. Yeah. No, it's.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting stat.
Yeah. Well,
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Well, you think about how many players now, like you come from Europe, undrafted. Look at like late developing goaltenders. There's lots of guys. I'd go down in the orders and like how many Troy Stetcher. Like there's more guys than people think that were undrafted players that are now in the NHL.
Yeah, for sure. I don't mind that. And it's certainly, like you can see, Stan Bowman is trying to farm that player from Europe because his draft picks, if he hasn't traded them away, they're way down the pack, right, here in Edmonton. So,
yes.
And he's bringing guys in, and you bring in 4, and if one hits, you're a success. Like, they're not all hitting.
Oh, gosh, no.
They're not all hitting, but it's a little bit of a shotgun approach, and I don't mind it. I think Stan's he's got some intriguing guys. This little Finnish defenseman intrigues me. Forget his last name.
Lepinen.
Lepinen. Yeah, Atro Lepinen, not Arto, Atro.
Yeah, Atro Lepinen. Well,
he's intriguing. I don't know if he's any good, but he's intriguing.
David Tomasek is another guy that's very intriguing. They're pretty high in the Josh Szymanski kid who's coming out of Germany. Like the Vijalmi Marjala, who was a draft pick of Buffalo. They didn't sign him, and the Oilers ended up signing him. Like those last two guys are for sure starting in the minors, and we'll see about Atro Lepinen and potentially what he does. But you look at
25, I think.
I think he's actually might be 26 if I'm not mistaken. So, but he is. I don't care what league. When you put up big points in a league that's a professional league, you're doing something right. And for him to break the league record for most points by a defenseman, I'm like, okay, he's got something.
Well, he's worth looking at, and we've seen the steady stream of Finnish defensemen that don't maybe look. Kimmo Timonen was shaped like a fire hydrant, right? And what a good player he was for a really long time. Back in the old days, they had a little guy here named Raimo Suominen who played a bunch of years for the Oilers and was really good. Who was the cat that played the really good Finnish defenseman that played the old Winnipeg Jets?
Teppo Numminen? No,
before him, Teppo was a fantastic player. Like he's one of the all-time best ever out of Finland. I'm talking about, he played at WHA. Little guy. And then, of course, Reo Ruotsalainen. So my point is, mine like that, you know what? If there's still guys coming out of that tap, hell, I'll have a glass. Let's see if you can get the next one, man. Finland's given us some mighty, mighty good defensemen over the years. And why would you stop now?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, 100%. Was
one of your texters will give you that Jets guy. He played with Nilsson and Hedberg.
Was that Bergman?
Nope.
Because there was Bergman. There was what was the guy who had the hyphenated name?
Lars
Erik Sjödrum or something like that.
That's the guy. Lars Erik Sjöberg. Okay. He might have been. Sjöberg might have been Swedish. Matter of fact.
Yeah, I think he might have been Swedish. Yeah,
he was. But anyway.
Yeah, he went over there. He was a skilled defenseman, right? They had
for sure.
He had 60 points all the time, and then I think he played 1 year in the NHL. Did he not? I think so.
Could well have. But he was basically the power play defenseman on those great Jets teams at WHA. I get it. Now you say his name, he's probably Swedish. But the point is, there's guys, man. There's guys out there, and some of them don't mature when they're 18. You don't draft them when they're 18. It doesn't mean they'll never play. Some guys are 23, and you go, holy man, this guy's a good player. How did we all miss him? So I like what Bowman's doing. He's got a puncher's chance on all these guys. What the heck?
All right. Spec, we just got Catherine came in at 1,800. Ricky's up to 1,900. So we're rolling here in the final hour. If you want in, 833-401-1440. Dinner with Coach Knobloch and the waiter, Mark Spector. 4 of you in August, or it's got to be done before the season starts in September. So all at Vivo. So you got lots of time to set it up, and it'll be great. Food and company, we'll see. The coach will be great. The rest I can't guarantee. So we'll see you at your golf tournament tomorrow, Spec.
All right. Thanks, Jay. And everybody else who's coming out, we'll see you in the morning.
There you go. That's Mark Spector. And that's the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. So Ricky is up. It's 4 people plus Spec and Chris Knobloch. So it's technically for 6, but obviously you bring a group of 4 and away you roll. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It's all helping out Sports Central today. We'll get back. We got the 2-minute warning and much more. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play
And
Alberta.
they got in, putting it together at the end, but there's a lot of good teams, man. Look at those playoff brackets.
Today.
I don't see a lot of those teams.
More with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100
casino.
Strutty! SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
410. Little Aussie.
Logging, oil field, fluids, including the Spruce Grove YouTube page.
I need a cooling breeze. Send me Legacy's AC repair.
Ruddy, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How you?
They're back in
without AC. Legacy Heating and Cooling's got a guy who's really good at fixing broken AC.
445.
Okay, see you later.
5.
It's the Bricks Price Meltdown. Score hot summer savings like up to 40% off mattresses and a 10% instant credit towards sleep accessories. Save up to $900 off sofas and sectionals and up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages. Plus, buy more, save more on select major kitchen appliances, up to $500 off. Even more, find hot prices on Canadian-made pieces and get up to 15% off patio furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair. They'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Ah, yes, the majestic air swing. Don't fret, Colonial Golf Club welcomes all skill levels, even those who struggle to make contact. Colonial's championship course is designed to challenge pros, entertain amateurs, and provide just enough hazards to keep things interesting.
Whoops.
Well, at least the Ducks are impressed. Colonial Golf Club, just south of Edmonton down 50th Street. Book your tee time now at colonial.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beer from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
527. Welcome back. Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely day. And the first inning is any sign this could be a heck of a game. Yankees get a 3-run blast in the first inning. And now in the bottom, the Jays, Barger just gets a single. It's 3-1. Runners on first and second. And Captain Kirk is up to the plate after hitting 2 doubles yesterday. Also, we're up to 1950 now for our dinner with Coach Knobloch, helping out Sports Central at Vivo Ristorante. So if you want in, hey, let's push it up here a little bit. We're getting rolling. We got about a half an hour left to go. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. If you want in, you can do it. Just text us, or you can call Connor Halley. 833-401-1440. Now let's get to the 2-minute warning. Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. AC conks out late tonight on the weekend. Book them. No OT. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, of course, longtime journalist in town. Cam Borden with cerebral palsy, has been in a wheelchair. Due to his disability, he was unable to be on the radio until now. Through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
With over 40 Edmonton Oilers home games, I have shared small white tables, circular, you understand, with burgers, hot dogs, a great chicken parm, pierogies, and of course ice cream, and the best chocolate sauce in the media dining room. The guy I share having dinner with? Mark Spector, a guy I met, 1986, the old Edmonton Journal newsroom. Speck was an up-and-coming sports writer and has become one of the best sports columnists. He makes me laugh. He makes me think. He is more than generous with phone numbers of contacts. And he fills up my plastic cup when, it happens often, I'm out of Diet Pepsi. Dinner with Speck. Can't go wrong. Now, add in Edmonton Oilers head coach Chris Knobloch and great Italian cuisine. It will be a great night for 6 people. But, much more importantly, that night in West Edmonton at Vivo Ristorante will change a young person's life, or potentially a few kids, because they, finally, have a pair of skates, a puck, gloves, or a baseball, a bat, or cleats, soccer ball, a sleeve of golf balls, golf clubs, a golf bag, equipment they did not have to ignite a dream, but because of circumstances far beyond their control, they did not have the resources to be involved. But thanks to the wonderful work of Sports Central, sporting equipment is given out to kids who need it. And then, the potential is endless. Absolutely endless. The success stories are not only countless, but inspiring. And we all know life's lessons sports silently provide help athletes become part of the community, professionals, taxpayers, and so much more. At 5 p.m., the highest bid was $1,700. Let's see what we can get things up to. Excited. Come on. Are you willing to make a significant investment today? Sports, 1440.
There you go. That's Cam Tate. We're up to $2,000 now. And if you want in, 833-401-1440. That's Ricky at 2G Notes. And it will be dinner at Vivo Ristorante. One of the, it's unbelievable. I have eaten at Vivo. I'm telling you right now. The great part is when you go there, you're going to get to try everything. Like so many different things on the menu, but the caprese salad is top shelf. Their Caesar salad's unreal. The fettuccine, like it's a must. And trust me, they will make, it's a lot of family plates. You get to share lots of different things. If you like, obviously meat, they got it all from sea bass to chicken to steak, everything. It's fantastic. Dessert, cookies, great. But obviously, they got a great wine selection as well and cocktails. So if you, it's a high-end restaurant. You're gonna have great food, and you can have just the ambience is great. Where you're gonna sit, have lots of fun. Servers, who knows, might be Big Al. Big Al, one of the best servers around. So you'll have a lot of fun. And you're going to dine with Chris Knobloch. Not very often get to dine with the coach. First 2 years in the league, both years is going to the Stanley Cup final. Probably got a few tales of Connor as a young kid in Erie, and of course now in the NHL and many other things. Coaching, he's been coaching with the in the Rangers organization, coach for the Flyers in the NHL. So he's going to have great stories from lots of different places. So it'll be loads of fun, and most importantly, you're going to help out Sports Central, which is a charity that, that does amazing things. I always tell people, just think about for you when you think back, if you're thinking on bidding or raising or whatever, that how much sports meant to you growing up. Just the fact that you felt part of a team and you got to play. Right? Whether you won or lost, you probably remember a few wins over your time as a kid in minor sports. But a lot of it's probably you'll remember some of the moments you had. And, maybe you got to go to on a road trip, right? You think about when you're in hockey as a kid, you probably remember more the slides and the hotels than you did necessarily some of the other things, right? Maybe you got to win in minor hockey week. Maybe you lost in minor hockey week. Maybe you played soccer and had a great time. So there you go. So 833-401-1440. Catherine is up to $2,100 now as we rock and roll our way through the afternoon to help out. We got lots of other texts coming in, 833-401-1440. Gregor, really enjoyed your interview with Coach Knobloch earlier. I'm curious, listening to his answer about finding that balance with young players to let them grow and make mistakes. What do you think happens with Howard and Savoy this year? Well, I think both of them are going to, thanks, Rick, for the question, but I think both of them are going to given a good look, especially in training camp, but I think even early on in the season. Now, unless one of them really just looks completely overwhelmed, and I'd be surprised if it's Savoy, considering he was here last year and he's actually played in the NHL, right? Howard has yet to play pro hockey. And, well, you know what? You can come out and be highly touted. Leon Draisaitl started as a 20-year-old, 6 games in the minors. And that was on a team that wasn't a team that had made it to back-to-back Stanley Cups. So Now he was 20, not 21, but still, this is not a guaranteed lock that Ike Howard just rolls in. And I'm telling you, if he's sitting there training like, oh, I'm coming into Edmonton, and I don't think he will, right? Like, he looks and says, man, there's a great opportunity here. That's awesome. But do I think he's just going to come in and automatically assume a spot? No. Trust me, he's not the only winger who looks at the depth chart and says, whew, it's a pretty good opportunity, right? On the left side to come into Edmonton and show my stuff. Like, what about David Tomasek? I trust me, I don't rule him out. I know he's a rookie, but Tomasek comes into this camp and he looks and says, man, I got some opportunities. What about Andrew Mangiapane? Right? You don't think Andrew Mangiapane looks and says, okay, I just signed a 2-year deal. I've proven that I can score when playing with skilled players. I'm coming off of playing on the 4th line in Washington last year. That guy is going to be amped up to get an opportunity to go in the top 6. So I think there's lots of guys, not just Ike Howard, not just Mangiapane, and Savoy, and Tomasek, right? Trent Frederick. Vasily Podkolzin might say, hey, wait a sec. I showed the coach because I was reliable defensively last year, but I want to do more offensively this year. I know that Draisaitl likes playing with me. I know how to play with them. Now is it just, can I finish a few more chances? So trust me, it's not just Ike Howard, I think, that's going to get carte blanche to take that role. There's going to be lots of guys pushing to say, hey, don't. What about Adam Henrique? What if Adam Henrique gets a look on the left wing? Adam Henrique's entering the last year of his contract. He's thinking, hey, man, I want to get another 3-year deal, whether it's in Edmonton or somewhere else. I get an opportunity to play in the top 6, sign me up. So trust me, that's what makes the NHL so hard for a young player. Yeah, you got to be skilled, but you got to find a way to be skilled and then find a way to be consistent. Because the NHL players, well, maybe they might be a little bit less skilled in some cases than you are, a hotshot young kid, but they know how to be consistent. And maybe you have the high-end play, but if they have the low dips, a lot like a guy like Adam Henrique, who's going to be playing his 1,000th game this season, he's figured out how to be pretty consistent, right? Like, he scored 20 goals, 7 times in his career? Might be 8, but I know it's 7 for sure. So it's pretty impressive, right? And he didn't love his season last year, so he'll be motivated. It's the final year of his deal. That's a big motivation to send a message not only to the Oilers, but to all the teams across the league. Like, hey, I still got some game. So I think it's going to be fantastic. Very much looking forward to it. And Ike Howard comes in. Yeah, he'll have some turnovers. It's going to happen, right? And it might not even be a turnover. Some of them is, I would say this, a lot of the mistakes a rookie player makes aren't even ones that are caught up in game. It's a wrong read that led to a real bad turnover or a great scoring chance from someone else that you don't necessarily pick up right away. So, quick break. We'll come back. We got lots more text. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Might even replay some of the non-block interview and more. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches.
And Chris, changes to your coaching staff, most notably today. Glenn Gulletson moves on to Dallas as the head coach. The back Stanley Cup,
0991, or visit silentrides.ca.
The Discover Days sales event has been extended at Volvo.
It's hard to get off to a good start. The average is like 4, 5, and 1. Right? It just mentally, emotionally, I'm sure you get back together and it's hard. What did you learn from that maybe you can incorporate this year that you can try to avoid that slow start that seems to plague a lot of
$7,500 on a 2025 demo XC40. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at Volvo Cars Edmonton.
The teams that lose in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, that's a fine balance.
McDonald's international menu items are vanishing. McPizza bites missing in Italy. Big Rusty stolen from Germany. Teriyaki chicken sandwich disappears in Japan. And a Biscoff McFlurry blackout in Belgium. Oh, this just in. We can now confirm the stolen favorites have resurfaced. at McDonald's Canada. The International Menu Heist. Try them all while you can. For a limited time in participating McDonald's in Canada.
The Hoop City 3x3 Festival takes over the Ice Palace at West Edmonton Mall from July 31st to August 3rd. See professionals and Olympians battle for ranking points and cash prizes in 3 different FIBA 3x3 events. Free admission. Details at sports1440.ca.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian, and support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Tired of hearing, I'm bored? Bowl Canada has all the info you need to get them into a bowling league. It's all fun, games, and guaranteed smiles. Visit bowlcanada.ca today to sign up. We're ready to roll. Are you?
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
Hat-tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
5:41, and speaking of coming home, we're coming down the stretch run here. If you want to in, you can text us 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Also, those of you that are bidding, be sure to answer your phone. Comes from a private number because the con man's a big deal. But to answer your phone, he likes everybody to get in their final opportunities to bid. Catherine currently has it at $2,100. It is a dinner for 4 people with head coach Chris Knobloch, as well as a spec at Vivo Ristorante, and it'll happen between now and September. So don't worry, it's not a set date. You'll have lots of time to figure out when you can have the great dinner and have lots of fun, and find out as much as you can about the orders from their head coach. And speaking of their head coach, we'll get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Hockey Super League, a premier hockey solution for a clear path for long-term development, offering borderless hockey, including provincial and cross-province competition. Check out hockeysuperleague.ca for more information. And we did have Chris Knobloch on the show earlier today, and we asked him a lot of stuff, but we got around to the fact that teams who lose the Stanley Cup the following year over the last 11 years have an average of 4-5-1 out of the gate. It's tough emotionally to come back after losing the Stanley Cup. They have the experience, unfortunately, of doing it last year, and guess what they were out of the gate? I think they're actually 5 and they might have been 5-4-1 or 5-5. So not bad, but a little bit above average. So I asked Knobloch kind of what did you learn from last year, and how can that help you maybe to avoid a slower start that seems to happen for a lot of teams who lose the Stanley Cup final?
Yeah, it's a fine balance because as a coach, you're always wanting to push your team to be the best that they can be, but there's times where a coach has to be pushing harder than at other times, and it feels like as a coach, you don't want to be necessarily pushing too hard right from the start when you're at game 0. And hopefully we learned from last year, know that it just makes the season a little bit harder for us. We got a different team. Well, from the first Stanley Cup final team to the next, our team was completely different. Over the summer, it changed. We have quite a bit of change this summer too. So it'll just be about getting everyone acquainted with our systems, finding the best lines that will work together, and hopefully we get a great start at the beginning of the season, because you look at our schedule, the first month or 2 months, for that matter, is a grind. It's a tough one. With 2 very long road trips to the East Coast. After that, it gets a little bit better. But coming back after losing Stanley Cup final is difficult, and then on top of that, it's going to be a difficult schedule. So we're going to have to make sure that we are ready for it, and not dig ourselves a huge hole.
And Chris, changes to your coaching staff, most notably Glenn Gulletson moves on to Dallas as a head coach. Paul Coffey not returning. Mark Stewart will take over on the defense. Do you see any real reason to change any significance in how you play 5-on-5 as a group, or is it more going to be some tweaks on your penalty kill?
Yeah, the change definitely would be on the penalty kill. That would be the biggest adjustments that we'll make. As for a 5-on-5 play, we're always looking at how we can get better in certain things. And, overall, I think we're going to be pretty much the same systems, taking us to the Stanley Cup final twice. And I think there's just being a little more emphasis on, a little more skill development for those just to execute plays. And that's kind of with our coaching staff. We pretty much kind of reduced one traditional coach, looking at the 5-on-5, more of the system play. And we added more of a traditional skills coach, focusing on player development. And obviously with having some young, high prospects coming in, as you mentioned, with Savoy and Howard, that, help those guys tremendously. But I think also with veteran players, they're always looking to improve their game. There's always skills that you can work on. And we wanted a guy that was completely focused on that skill development or enhancement that can help all our players. So, with the coaching staff, we kind of added that position.
Okay, so would you have then some more like practices that are just going to be like skill development practices?
We will have that, and we'll probably break up our traditional practices with skill development, maybe at the beginning of practice, more at the end, breaking it up like that. And, we're very fortunate here in Edmonton having 2 ice sheets.
Okay.
So we can always do skills with a handful of players on one ice and then have them join our main practice immediately without losing any time with ice scrapes or anything like that. So, we want to implement more of that this year. It's something that's very difficult to do in the at the NHL just because of the travel and the schedule and how many games you play. But I think it's important. Our players spend so much time doing skill development over the summer, and then time the regular season happens, it's almost non-existent.
Yeah.
So, which I think is just not right. I think we should be incorporating more of that in the regular season. So, hopefully, it's a great plan right now, and hopefully we can execute it.
Now, Chris, is that something that just you felt was important yourself? Was it Mark Stewart? Where did this idea come from? You felt like and I love it because I look at an organization and I see player development, and a lot of it's on these young players. And the harsh truth is the vast majority of them don't play in the NHL because it's really hard as you get higher up in the pyramid. And then you have your best players who are in the NHL and they do skill development, and then they get to their season. And I know it sounds dumb, but if you don't maybe work on certain little drills, all of a sudden in a game, that reaction time isn't where you want it to be because you haven't worked on it. Was this something did you look at film or studies? What made you come up with this idea? Because I think it's fantastic.
Well, I think, I think once players get to the NHL, it's almost as if their development's done. They've made it to the highest level, and let's just let them play. And, I don't think that's right. And I think, my time in junior hockey and in the American Hockey League, the emphasis is on development, getting these players better. And, I think it's important that we were doing that. So I think between, my experience with in the American Hockey League with Hartford, I thought we had a good program there, and a lot of emphasis on player development, and but also talking with Stan. Stan had the exact same vision, so it was really easy for us to work together and find a way for this to work. And he and I went through the application process of finding good coaches to fill our entire bench and the skill development role. And so I think Stan and I were very aligned on this position.
And lastly, before I let you go, Chris, really appreciate your time. Have you made your way to your doppelganger's church for a sermon yet this offseason?
No, I have not. But maybe in the Stanley Cup Finals, I'll make my way there and needing something to put us over the edge.
Oh, hey, that's not bad. A little divine intervention maybe at the next year in the Stanley Cup Final. I like it. Well, Chris, thanks so much for this, and thanks so much for helping out with Sports Central. People looking forward to it. We'll raise some money here in the final few hours to go for dinner with Chris Knobloch at Vivo Ristorante. Thanks so much for your time, Chris. Enjoy it. The remainder of the summer, and we'll talk to you again in September.
Thanks very much, Jason. See you later.
Well, there you go. That is Chris Knobloch, and I think Connor's working the phones right now. I think our last bid's $25.50 or something like that. So, we'll see where we finish up here. So it's been a good little run so far, and away we go. So. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 if you want to get in on that. Should be good. It's all for Sport Central. And I think I just heard someone, Connor, I think I just heard the keyword congratulations. I think Catherine is going to walk away as the winner today. I'll get the final bid from her. So congratulations. Thanks, everybody, Ricky and Vance and everybody else who helped bid it up today. Very much appreciate it. So Cons, was I eavesdropping correctly? Did I hear a congratulations? You won, Catherine?
Yeah. Okay. Catherine, we're up to 2,600.
All right.
She's got the big meal coming up soon.
Perfect. Well, that is outstanding. So thanks, Catherine, everybody else who bid it. And to Coach Knobloch and Spec. So we're helping out Sports Central today, which is fantastic. Interesting early game here. The Jays getting lots of guys on base. What's that now? 5 runners they've left on base for the first 2 innings. 3 of them in scoring position. So just left the bases juiced in the second. And this is kind of similar to yesterday. Rodon, got out of trouble, and boom, they exploded because the Jays they seem relentless right now when they get to up to bat. So I don't even know what the pitch count is yet. But I'm guessing the starter you've already left that many guys on base. The pitch count's probably going to be adding up a little bit early on here. So that's being the Jays' MO here a little bit later. They're obviously Scherzer gave up a 3-run blast in the first inning, so that was not ideal. But I'm looking at Schlittler, and I don't know what it's 49 pitches through 2 innings. So, hey man, at this pace, he's going to be at 100 almost through 4 innings. So that's how you can get rid of the starting pitcher, even if you're not putting up a ton of runs. So we'll see where it goes from there. Coming up on tomorrow's show, very much looking forward to our guest in the 4:00 hour. Tony Granato will join us, and you're not going to want to miss it. If you're for something inspiring, Tony is executive producer of a new show that's coming out on the NHL Network that you can watch, and I think it's called Finding Life, and his first guest is Clint Malarchuk. And for many of you, you probably remember one of the it was awful. And Clint Malarchuk, he had to live through it, right? He when he had the skate cut through his neck, and oh man, it was brutal, absolutely brutal. He was able to come back and play, but man, that experience, it was just so traumatic. It really impacted him. He dealt with he had OCD, depression, dealt with alcoholism for a little bit of time, PTSD, even attempted suicide once. So it was like we saw what happened once, but this is an Alberta guy from Grand Prairie and Clint Malarchuk. And he came back to play, which is unreal. But so that story, we'll hear from Tony and who else is going to be on. Very much looking forward to that tomorrow on the show. So on behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and everybody else listening, all of our guests, Chris Knobloch and more, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the evening. Have yourself a great night. Let's get to Conman and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by eWell, your partner in power for since 1976. So do the math, 49 years. EWEL, online 24/7, ordering and shipping across Edmonton, ewel.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Full set of games in the majors tonight. The Jays in action right now, hosting the Yankees, currently trailing 3-1 in the top of the third. Elsewhere, Rays lead the White Sox 4-0. The Nationals have a 3-1 lead over the Reds heading into the sixth. Bo Sox trail the Phillies 4-1. The Pirates up on the Tigers 5-0. Later on tonight, you got the Royals and the Cubs. 45-year-old Rich Hill will make the start for Kansas City. Also, Rangers taking on the Athletics. The Cards in Colorado. Diamondbacks host the Astros. Brewers in Seattle. And the Dodgers hosting the Minnesota Twins. Edmonton Riverhawks taking on Wenatchee tonight. Round gets going at 7:35 in the WNBA. You've got the Sparks in Washington. Liberty hosts the Fever. Chicago takes on Minnesota. Aces hosting Atlanta. And the Wings meet the Storm in Seattle. From the NFL, Jimmy Graham announcing he plans to retire. 5-time Pro Bowl selection, last played in 2023. And Super Bowl champion and 3-time All-Pro Tyrann Mathieu also announcing his retirement at the age of 33. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got Fox Sports all night. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with the Kevin Carius Show. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
It's the Bricks Price Meltdown. Score hot summer savings, like up to 40% off mattresses and a 10% instant credit towards sleep accessories. Save up to $900 off sofas and sectionals and up to 25% off bedroom and dining packages. Plus, buy more, save more on select kitchen appliances, up to $500 off.